Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents the Neil Rogers Show.
Oh my God.
To talk to Neil, call 567-0560 toll free for Dade and Broward, or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisitions, or the Beasley Broadcast Group. Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
If you blow too much, you're in trouble.
My dad knocked me off.
Oh!
He raped me when he tied me up. When I was JonBenét Ramsey, I was killed by my daddy. My dad knocked me off. I was a little tweenie. It's not a media mystery. My mom's the one who knows. He beat me and beat me with the rubber hose, and that's my dad, as you know. He's wealthy and owns most of Colorado, so they're gonna let him go. My dad knocked me off. He needed me to get it up, so he's the one who did it. You'll never hear him admit it. My dad knocked me off.
All right.
My dad knocked me off.
Well, it's a little bit on the slow side. You know, that's the way American justice works. Detective says JonBenét sexually assaulted.
Oh my
How
God.
do you like that? What was it, Christmas this year? It'll be 2 years? I do believe so. JonBenét Ramsey appeared to have been repeatedly sexually assaulted before the night she was killed, the first police detective on the scene said in an interview broadcast on Wednesday. Former Boulder detective Linda Arndt also said there were serious problems with the police investigation, including a failure to question the parents of the girl 6 immediately after her body was found. I don't know why a lot of things weren't done in this case, she said on ABC's Good Morning America. Arndt said the girl appeared to have been repeatedly sexually assaulted before the night of her death. So I think that if we're going to be logical, we have to assume that this intruder, the one who killed her, just kept breaking into the house over and over again and assaulting her, and nobody noticed. Isn't that logical based on the way the investigation has gone?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was the same intruder. It wasn't Mommy or Daddy or Brother Burke. I would say to George before the show this morning, I think just to be safe, just to be positive that we get the killer, what they ought to do is have one of those triple deckers, you know? Have an electric chair and put Mommy and Daddy and a Brother Burke, in like side by side and fry all their ass, and then we can be pretty damn sure. You know, it's like when you have some kind of a tumor and they remove all the surrounding tissue just to be sure that you get the malignancy out. So it only took like almost 2 years to figure this out, that she had been repeatedly sexually assaulted before the night of her death. And thank God that we have consistent American justice and that a guy that's got a lot of money like John Ramsey can't, postpone the inevitable. Or maybe it won't even be inevitable because by now, I mean, they contaminated so much of the evidence. Let's start working on the Lindbergh baby thing. They had a piece on CNN about that last night, and they said absolutely nothing. Does anybody with a brain really think that Bruno Hauptmann killed that baby?
No.
Of course not. But it's only 60 years later, so why should we worry about that now? There's another case where they contaminated all the evidence. Brilliant police work in America, no question about that. And on the same page right above that story in this morning's Scum Sentinel, another one of these isolated incidents. God, there's so many of these damn things.
There's no fact in the church.
Archdiocese sues defrocked priest, San Francisco. Catholic Archdiocese of San Francisco has filed a suit against Patrick O'Shea, a defrocked Roman Catholic priest who has also been accused of molesting altar boys and other children.
Boy!
Anybody believe that crap?
No.
No, I never heard of such a thing. The lawsuit accused O'Shea, former pastor of Holy Name of Jesus Church, of embezzlement and fraud and demanded the return of $252,000.
Only $50.
O'Shea would open ostensibly legitimate church bank accounts, then channel money to his own use, buying property and paying debts, while falsifying financial reports to the Archdiocese, the lawsuit alleged. O'Shea was permanently stripped of his priestly duties in 1995 following numerous allegations that he had sexually molested boys.
Boy!
How do you like that?
There's no fact in the church.
Day after day after day. And you know something? A whole lot of you people out there listening to me right now, you keep subsidizing this bull crap. That's the best part of it. You keep going there because you've been brainwashed.
Yeah.
You know, one of the most tragic things I've ever seen in my life. Did you see the how much of the story did you see after the shootings last night? And I'll be honest with you. The gun lobby, you people can be real grateful to Hurricane Floyd, okay? You ought to kiss the ground for Hurricane Cliff Floyd. Because this shooting, I mean, it was only 7 people that got shot and killed. So why should they be getting much news coverage anyway? You know what I'm saying? Let's say 7. That's all. Not a big story. So it's getting like almost no coverage now because they're hocking away on Hurricane Cliff Floyd, which we already know is, you know, a lot of wind, a lot of rain up the Northeast into a lot of heavily populated cities, Philly, New York, Boston, etc. But, you know, that's the weather. It's a weather story. It's not a story where 7 people got murdered. So at any rate, one of the most pathetic things I think I've ever seen. Although, of course, now we're becoming desensitized also to teenagers on stretchers who've just been shot. We see that a lot, you know. Here's some more teenagers coming out on stretchers. There's blood all over them. They've just been shot again because that's the American bucking away. But at any rate, then they're showing this one thing a million times. There's this one kid. He comes on. He's hugging in desperation his friend. He says, "Oh, you've got to turn to the Lord. That's the only hope. You've got to turn to the Lord." Of course, the interesting part of this, and maybe some of you believers out there, some of you people are so much better than I am, obviously, and who'll be in the kingdom of heaven with Jesus. You can explain to me, this was in a Baptist church. This was at one of those Wednesday night, somebody can also explain to us what this thing is where they around the pole, what they're doing with their pole. Yeah. And here they were praying. It was a prayer service. And once again, God screwed up. He's too busy inflicting, what was the other thing? They just had a typhoon somewhere over there in the Pacific. And we got this hurricane, another one girt behind it. And he's too busy inflicting all kinds of horrendous damage on mankind. He don't have time to be answering prayers of people who are about to get shot.
Maybe they were praying to go to heaven faster.
How come I barely hear you? Is it this overhead again?
It's because everybody comes in here at night
and Potskey's around with this crap. Yeah, even though they were supposedly not going to be coming in here. But again, we don't count for very much. That's why we have this horseball studio. And as you accurately pointed out yesterday, that's why they have an 800 contest line for the rest of the station. But we don't have any 800 lines.
No, it's not for the rest of the station.
What do you mean by that?
It's only for the contests.
I understand that.
The other talk lines are, you know.
No, I understand they also don't have an 800 line because they're also on in Fort Myers, some of the shows, and also can't get calls toll-free from those people. Plus, of course, all the millions of people listening around the world on the Internet to our sports shows. And the 5 or 10 who might be listening to us. Right. Can't call. See, don't start off on a sour note this morning. We got too many terrible, horrible things going on already, and you're starting on a sour note bitching about the state-of-the-art studios that Greg Reed built. What the hell's wrong with you, man? Malcontent, professional bitcher, complainer, whiner. That's why we listen, by the way. We like it. Thank you. Just the way it is, baby. Another mass shooting. Yeah, and I got the thing here with Jose Land beating Rick Sanchez and the Atkins died. I got that. Jimmy Johnson still bitching about American Ireland. Nice going there, Jimmy. Let them have it, baby, because American blows. They suck. Let them have it. And you know something? They're going to keep flying American. And every once in a great while, when I absolutely have to, I'm going to keep flying American. And so are all the rest of you because you got no choices. That's the wonders that deregulation did for us. In every industry, broadcasting, airlines, we got monopolies. You know, we have this alliance and that alliance, and what that basically means is there are about 5 or 10 companies that run the whole goddamn world. And if you don't want to do business with them, just crawl into a hole somewhere because you're out of business. Thank you very much. Nice going. Thank God we live in a country where we don't believe in monopolies. 9 minutes after 10 at 560 WQAM. Here's some.
I already have a homosexual relationship with Neil, so I might as well have one with you, too.
All right. He started out a regular guy who joined the Erectory and made the ultimate sacrifice, embracing celibacy. Father O'Toole. Amen. Holy Fool. Father O'Toole. altering boys, amen. As time went by, his earthly needs compromised his choice. He found a way to get relief by altering young boys.
Oh!
Father wrote to him, amen. From holding fool, Father wrote to him, altering boys, amen. He was happy and gay till he got caught by some tattletale. Then the Vatican paid everyone off, and he didn't have to go to jail. Father wrote to him, amen. From holding fool, Father wrote to him, yeah. They sent him to a priest retreat where they genuflect and pray. If it was you or it was me, they'd lock us up and throw the keys away. Father wrote to him, amen. From holding fool, Father wrote to him, altering boys, amen. Father wrote to him, amen. From holding fool, Father wrote to him, amen.
10:15 at 560 WQM. Don't miss tonight again, of course, another chapter in the ongoing CBS special, Dan Rather Tries to Get Pneumonia. I mean, you really have to wonder about this. It's reached the point now whether you don't know whether to laugh or cry. Here is I like Dan Rather. I've been watching CBS Evening News for years and always will. Far superior to a guy with a speech defect on NBC and far superior to the very stuffy and boring Peter Jennings. But the fact is that Dan Rather now, and last night he's out there again, getting himself just soaking wet, the rain pouring down his head. If they would have had him like standing under an awning somewhere, if they would have had an umbrella, somebody holding an umbrella over his head, which is the way they used to do it, we still would have been impressed. Okay, Dan could be sitting in a warm studio in New York, but instead he wants to get right to the meat of the matter. And he's on there for CBS Evening News for 25 minutes last night, getting soaked in the rain pouring down his head. Then I'm channel surfing later on, and here's my good buddy.
Loan me $50.
And he's got Dan on there again for another hour. And he's standing out there, not inside, not under a porch, not inside a motel with the other cameras showing what's going on outside with the rain and the wind. No, he's there in Wilmington, North Carolina, and the rain is just pouring down all over his head, and he's an old man trying to get pneumonia on your TV set. Then they got one of their correspondents on CNN, which they just showed again for the 500th time because of the amusement factor, not because of the news factor. This guy's in Jacksonville, North Carolina. The tape was made at 7:04 this morning. They keep showing that in the upper left-hand corner. You see what time it really happened live. And they've shown it 400 times since because, like I said, the comedy effect is so great. This guy's about ready to get blown away. The wind and the rain, I mean, he's hanging on, and it's moving him several steps to his right, and he's just barely keeping his balance and hanging out of this microphone. I wouldn't be surprised if Al Sunshine shows up and starts bitching him out. And don't you understand what they're doing? They're insulting all of your intelligence. That's what they're doing. They're saying, oh, you're really going to be impressed with us because our guys are out there practically getting blown away. As if you'd be somehow less informed or less impressed if their guys were like under an umbrella or like in the truck somewhere, just showing us what's going on outside without them being in the middle of it. Oh, yeah, look at that. There's Charles Zewe out there, and the rain is pouring down his yellow schmata. Are we impressed? No. You're a bunch of silly people. You're people in the media. I'd say like 95% of you. You're all silly people. You're a bunch of lunatics. You're crazy people. And like I said, this story, it just vanished. The story about the mass shootings at this Baptist church in Fort Worth, Texas, it just disappeared. I was watching when they broke in on CNN last night and they had the story, and then I'm flipping around on the small dish and on the big dish, and I don't know any more about it now, 12 hours later, than I did then. But like I said, it was only 7 people, probably mostly kids. Dead teenagers. We're used to that because it's the American bucking way. So anyway, getting back to Jose Lambeat in the South Florida Insider, getting to the meat of the matter, as he says. While trying to lose weight, Channel 7 Miami hype meister Rick Sanchez overate, and that landed him in the hospital. I was stupid, the anchor admitted. It was a good lesson. He was stupid. Is that a bulletin?
No.
We already know that, Rick. Sanchez tells Insider he started the Atkins diet last month. The MO, all you can eat of meat, cheese, eggs, and fat, but stay away from carbohydrates and sugar. Sanchez did that, especially the all you can eat part. It was like 2 steaks in one sitting, Sanchez said on Wednesday, while trying to put together a mail-order weightlifting machine. Then I'd throw a huge veal cutlet on the grill. On August 27th, he came down with a back pain and was hospitalized, diagnosis, a gallstone. Until the mishap, the 5'9", 5'9", maybe on stilts he's 5'9". How tall would you say he is, about 4'6"? I'd say he's about 3'8", Rick Sanchez, on tippy toes. Until the mishap, the 5'9" Sanchez had lost 4 pounds. Hey! Garrett! 4 pounds, baby, and another 8 in the hospital. Now he's at 182 pounds, and he's hired a nutritionist to put him on a steady diet of protein shakes. I get the shakes just watching Rick. Yeah, although I was very excited a couple of nights ago when he was out there on the edge of the bay, standing on the edge of the bay with the Otis Redding. Oh, it was beautiful. Just come on, somebody give him a little push, a little helping hand. They would have got a 90 share. They could have showed that thing over and over again. Everybody in this town would have been glued to Channel 7, showing them tossing Ricky Ticky into the drink. And Rick Sanchez, too. So there you go. He's on the Atkins diet. You notice, by the way, the tremendous response we got this morning because of another shooting and there's 7 people dead, probably mostly kids, although they don't care. Where was God? Would somebody like to tell us that? Some of you religious nuts out there who are so much better than we are. And, of course, that, like I said, the gun nuts are so grateful for Hurricane Cliff Floyd and for the way the media has just dropped this other story as if Hurricane Cliff Floyd is the only thing going on in the world. I mean, I realize, first of all, it's now a Category 2, a weak Category 2, and there's a lot of rain, and there's going to be flooding, and it's windy, and it's not a pretty thing, but it's just a shadow of what went by us down here that we just missed by an eyelash. It's just a vague resemblance to what we had down here. And the fact that 7 people got murdered again with guns. Now, we don't want to do that too much because then we'll get people all upset again, especially the NRA types. And, it's kind of an interesting coincidence because I got my new Newsweek yesterday, and a couple of weeks ago, Newsweek had a front-page story, America Under the Gun, that I talked about, August 23rd, special report. And they've, needless to say, gotten zillions and zillions of letters, most of them from the gun huggers, because those people, they will write, they will call, they will fax. Those people are, it's like a religion. Speaking of religion, it is a religion. The gun huggers, yeah. And some of these letters to the editor, they all sound the same, too. They all sound the same, like they're, quoting each other, quoting from propaganda. For example, James M. Shaw, Salt Lake City, writes to Newsweek, I'm a lifelong gun owner, having been raised in the West in a culture that teaches responsibility and ownership and handling of guns, and have never seen any of the negatives you decry in your cover story. In response to your misbegotten agenda, I bought another rifle, another handgun, and many boxes of ammunition, and sent a nice fat check to the NRA. Please consider your wrong-headed views on this subject. That letter right there, that is the definitive letter from the gun huggers of America, from the crazy people. This is their religion. And they make up every kind of story. In fact, where's the one about trusting the government? There's another one of these that, there's just a whole series of these things. Oh, yeah, here we go. The issue of guns is not about recreation, but about rights. In the past, our government has created gross violations of human rights, such as concentration camps for Japanese Americans. And if those Japs would have just had some guns, and will likely do so again at some point in the future. Inspired by the Founding Fathers, I believe that private ownership of military-quality firearms helps deter government abuses. A registration scheme, in addition to being of questionable use in stopping crime, would facilitate the easy confiscation of firearms by a government that decides it no longer trusts the people. It is mere common sense that a totalitarian or police state cannot maintain control if every good citizen can buy high-quality firearms. How about tanks, huh? How about neutron bombs? Every good American should have a neutron bomb, at least a couple. At the very least, our gun law provides a barometer for our other freedoms. If freedom starts being stripped away, obviously the Second Amendment will be the first to go. As long as we have it, we'll still likely have the others, says Ben Rogers in Auburn, Alabama. Alabama. How do you like that? Paranoid and delusional, irrational, and making every excuse under the sun why we have this barbaric slaughterhouse of a country. that you all come to accept, because obviously nobody cares about this again, just like the last time it happened and the next time it's going to happen and the times before that. It doesn't make any difference how many young people or old people or anybody else they blow away. You have come to accept it. And let's take a look at Dan out there in the rain again. Don't he look cute? Man, I don't understand you people at all. I just don't get it. And like I said, like it always happens, the gun nuts, they're the ones, they're writing their letters like the one letter, just listen to the hostility of this guy. And this is a guy who's got a lot of weapons, by the way. In response to your misbegotten agenda, I bought another rifle, another handgun, and many boxes of ammunition and sent a nice fat check to the NRA. That'll learn you to put stuff like that in your goddamn commie magazine. Isn't that beautiful? That's the American response to the fact that crazy people all over the place have got guns, and every time they get pissed off, they kill a whole bunch of people, including kids. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's our one call, a mobile in Boynton Beach. Hello?
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I just made myself sick to my stomach thinking about all that meat and cheese and eggs in Rick Sanchez's stomach.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I just have one little illustration of what you're talking about as far as the news. Big headline, the big picture of Floyd, and the big devastation where nobody was hurt, and they have one house that lost its roof in the Bahamas and got full brunt of the hurricane, and then a little one-sentence caption, which you have to flip back to page 15A.
Yeah.
It says, GERT is no longer a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's not news anymore because it's not going to harm us. Like a lot of people are probably thinking that this other hurricane is right behind.
Yeah.
And they buried the story because they want to tell us about destruction and just put the fear of God into us.
Mm-hmm. Fear of God. That's why God couldn't answer the prayers of these Baptists in Texas in Fort Worth last night. He's too busy creating all these storms all over the place.
Exactly. The biggest issue we have in this country, I agree with you, gun control. Got to get rid of the guns.
Okay, pal.
Thank you.
See ya, commie bastard. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Let's get the gun huggers on the phone. Come on, give us your propaganda. Give us your crap about how if we would just enforce the existing laws, yada, 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 yada. Chapter and verse, we know it all by heart.
Roger's God. You've seen him on Channel 7 News. First, as a two-bit reporter. Now, as a two-bit anchor that wears more makeup than Tammy Faye Baker and Mary Kay combined. Rick Sanchez sings.
Yes.
Hear the dulcet tones of the man who brought you Crime Check, Rick Sanchez. Rick Sanchez. Rick Sanchez sings.
Give me a home with a
Don't miss Rick Sanchez in his pasty-faced tour over Hialeah. It's one show you won't want to miss. Stay for a good one. Rick Sanchez, he loves his audience.
I accept you as a precious gift from God.
Neil, God!
1032 at 560 WQM. So let me ask you, who do you think is going to wind up killing more people? That lunatic who killed himself, of course, in Fort Worth, or the hurricane? How many people have died in the hurricane? Do we have a number? We don't have a number?
I haven't heard one yet.
And this guy killed 7 people in a church service in Fort Worth, Texas last night. And you know what they're talking about on CNN?
Northern Leeward Islands.
This just goes on and on and on. I realize, there are, like I said, a lot of heavily populated areas up there, like real cities like Philly and New York and Boston, but it's rain and wind. This is no longer the gigantic, whirling, dervish, menacing Category almost 5 hurricane that we had out here for a couple of days, scaring the living crap out of us. But nevertheless. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Dear God, how you doing, buddy?
Great.
Proud Hurricane Floyd survivor here.
Yes, sir.
And, hey, thanks. Not everyone could do it, but, hey.
I'll tell you one thing, crawl out of their bed. It works great. You know something where we got the good training for that? Back in the 50s when they had the Cold War going on, and they used to run the PSAs in the early day of television showing you that if there's a nuclear war starts, get under a table or under a bed. That's when we first started learning how to do these things right.
Yeah, that's right. I said, listen, I've got a problem. Remember that guy that called yesterday? He called up about Nick Cigars. He went down there. They were supposed to be running a special, and I don't know if you had a problem with the copy of what it was. Well, I heard you added you've been running about Atlantis. And I called up there, and they don't have a clue as to what I'm talking about.
Atlantis?
Yeah, the Atlantis coming to Atlantis. It's in the Bahamas. You're running some vacation.
Oh, you mean a recorded spot? I don't pay any attention to those, yeah.
They have no idea what I'm talking about.
That's our sales department, of course.
And then you get
in fact,
through
we're probably running spots for people that we don't even know we're running the spots.
And I know they're forced to hire minors. I mean,
Yeah.
Do you think George could put on that spot at some point?
No.
Who knows when he can?
No. We already got enough real spots. We don't have any time for it. Unless they want to pay for it, we're not going to put it on again. Okay, pal, have a good time in Atlantis. Have a good time there. Whatever that's all about. I don't even know. Do you know the spot he's talking about?
We hire minors?
From West Virginia. Black lung disease. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. That's it. Keep it light, okay? Don't start getting all morbid just because they're killing a bunch more people. Although we would like to know where God was. Since all these kids were, I don't know. It just makes me want to get on the floor, put my hands on my knees and my head in my hands, and put a for sale sign in front of the house and hop on a plane and just get out of here. This is a slaughterhouse. These are crazy people that accept, like I keep telling you this over and over again, and I know goddamn effing well that I'm right. This is not a way that sane people live. And every excuse under the sun, every diversion, every perversion, everything else. We got the marijuana police. We got, and by the way, no tolls on the turnpike again today. Let's hear it. Oh! But thank you very much to the guy that called yesterday with the pig report about the feeding frenzy of the FH pigs out there yesterday. Yeah. You see, if you can take the tolls off for days, but if you write that much business for the state, because the FHP, of course, is a state police, so they're writing a zillion. Let's see, one good ticket's worth $65, $70, $80, maybe $100. So let's say 70 for an average, 75. You write 100 of those, you got $7,500. That's 15,000, 50 cents in the toll things. You know what I'm saying? So, God, is there any rational reason why? Not that I'm complaining, because here's the third day in a row. That's $3. Oh my God! And Pompano Park was closed last night. What a bonanza! I might be able to buy my own dinner next time. Don't I always buy my own dinner?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, except for the one that Joe and the JP bought me that night, which you were on vacation, thank God, because they weren't going to buy you no dinner. Here's Tamarack. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I have a real question for you. It's based out of fear. This hurricane that was coming looked like it was going to be pretty close.
Yeah.
I started to get nervous about the people who live in my neighborhood talking about carrying rifles and shotguns in their house, for people coming into their house to pillage and loot. I don't know what to do. I was tempted to go out and buy myself a gun to protect myself, not for any other reason.
Yeah.
I decided not to. But I lived in a state of fear in an area with these people who have no clue what they're doing. They're ready to take out guns for almost any reason. I mean, what are we supposed to do?
Don't you understand?
That's the American fucking way.
That's right.
I know it is, but it scares the
crap out. Okay, great. He said he's scared spitless or something like that. 567-0560. Lots of open lines here this morning. Again, they're in La La Land, baby. Are they awake? Are they alive? Do they care? Do they give a crap? No. Like that last guy, he was ready to take one, but he doesn't give one. 567-0560, pound 560 on it. In fact, maybe if somebody's got more information about this story, because I'm hopeless. I'm turning on Fox News. I'm turning on CNN. I'm turning on everywhere I can. I can't find any more goddamn news about this story. It's a non-story. It's a non-event. Because I guess if it's under a dozen now, if it's under a dirty dozen, we don't talk about it anymore. It's not a big deal. Here's Miami Shores. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I have an idea about gun control, how to get it passed.
Sure.
Yeah? Maybe you've already mentioned it. What if we took away all the metal detectors and security from the Capitol building? How fast do you think those guys would pass gun control at that?
Yeah, well, that ain't going to happen.
Well,
And how did that guy get in there, by the way? How did that mental... Well, they got to... I'm glad you mentioned that, because I forget what night they're having that piece on 2020 it is, about this guy and how come he could have been running around on the loose.
In the Capitol building?
Crazy person, yeah.
Yeah. But if you took away
certifiable crazy person who should have been locked away somewhere.
If you took away their metal detectors, how fast
Well, that ain't going to happen. Okay, thanks, pal. Not going to happen.
Not certifiable. Certified. He had already been certified.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Crazy person. Just like the guy out there in California who tried to turn himself into the nut house up there and then went, wacky, and they gave him a few days in jail, a couple of months. See, this is the problem. Let me say it again. One of the big problems, and that is this. Instead of putting all these marijuana people and all these other drug people, if you deal with a drug problem, assuming we got a big one, as a medical problem and not a criminal problem, and open up all the jail cells and all the goddamn institution cells, and you put away the dangerous people and you protect the civilized people from the dangerous people, then maybe you accomplish something. So we got something called the war on drugs. That's right. Except at the airport. What?
That piece was on last night. I was wondering where I saw it.
Crap, I didn't see it. I thought I saw the promo for it last night.
A lunatic.
Yeah.
Many times over.
Out on the loose.
Out on the loose.
Yeah. What a surprise. Lunatics with guns. Not just all kinds of ordinary run-of-the-mill people with guns, but lunatics with guns. Crazy people with guns. How's John Hinckley doing, by the way? I think he's got a pass for the week. We'll be seeing him today. By the way, Hank Goldberg's got Beano Cook, speaking of John Hinckley, from 2 to 3. And then the 3 to 3:30, Hank will be doing the solo routine on the show, too. 3:30 to 7:15, the Marlins going for 7 in a row out of San Francisco. Losses, that is. And then we got the Panthers' first exhibitionist game of the season, finally, after we had all these cancellations. The Panthers at Nashville, well, actually in Knoxville, Tennessee. And we'll be doing that in progress with Jiggs McDonald, who's a great old guy. Who's an old guy. 21 before 11 at 560 WQM. You better.
Join the NRA. Shoot your gun today. Have yourself some down-home Christian fun.
All right.
Blow your friends away. We'll back you all the way. Defending your right to own a gun. When you think of all the benefits you're getting, life will be sweeter when you catch your heater. Carry a license to be deadly. Come on and join today. It's the American way to be a member of the NRA.
Aim for the knee, aim for the chest, and always aim for the head in case they're wearing a vest. Sharpen your skills, feel more fun. We'll be there to defend your right to hold a gun.
Come on and join today, and you'll be proud to say you're a member of the NRA.
So the Catholics are having a problem with some of their altar boys getting blown, and these Baptists last night had a problem with some of their people getting blown away. Church shooter identified, thanks to our listener out there for faxing in this information, because obviously there's only one story going on in the world, and that's, speaking of the big blow, Hurricane Cliff Floyd. That's all that they care about, and all the news networks, every goddamn affiliate, every channel in history, that's all they care about right now, is some rain and wind. Church shooter identified. A gunman shouting anti-religious curses and ordering his victims to stay still pumped a hail of bullets into hymn-singing teenage worshipers in a Baptist church Wednesday, killing 7 people. CBS News correspondent Sam Litzinger reports the gunman then turned the weapon on himself. Successfully, by the way. A 47-year-old suburban Fort Worth man has been identified as the gunman. Acting Fort Worth Police Chief Ralph Mendoza identified the man as Larry Gene Ashbrook of Forest Hill. He said he knew of no previous crimes by Ashbrook. Witnesses said a tall man with a mustache or a beard and long dark hair, wearing a black jacket, black shirt, and blue jeans, stepped into the main church hall as about 150 people were singing hymns. He hits the door real hard to make his presence known, and he just immediately started firing, said Dax Hughes, the church's college minister. Ashbrook using a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. All right, now we're talking, boys. Do it again. Using a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. And let's go back to that letter again in Newsweek about how Americans don't just have a right to have firearms, but military-quality firearms to help deter government abuses. Because I'll tell you, when they unleash the nerve gas to calm you bastards down, you got to shoot every one of those goddamn buggers real close. You know what I'm saying? You got to have semi-automatic weapons to get those germs before they get to you. Using a 9mm semi-automatic handgun, fatally shot 3 adults and 3 teenagers in the church, said Lieutenant David Ellis of the Fort Worth Police Department. 1 person died in the hospital. He was walking around in the sanctuary making some sort of derogatory comments about the Baptist religion, said Acting Police Chief Ralph Mendoza. After the 7 p.m. shooting, a pipe bomb exploded on the balcony. A bomb squad was inspecting several suspicious packages found at the church. Shortly after 8 p.m., police told reporters and bystanders to get inside an elementary school across the street from the church because of the explosives. 5 of the wounded were taken to John Peter Smith Hospital, et cetera, and so on. Mendoza said investigators believe Ashbrook acted alone, and there was no indication that he knew anyone at the church. The motive remains a mystery. The man walked into the sanctuary, pulled a gun, and began firing, Christy Martin, 17, said. I just saw him point the gun and shoot, she said. Scores of teenagers attended Wednesday night's weekly service because of the annual See You at the Pole ceremony. See, I told you, you didn't know what I was talking about. This is a Baptist thing. They have it once a year. It's called See You at the Pole. I'm not sure whether it's north or south. Dax Hughes, the church's college minister, said at least 150 young people were inside the sanctuary when the gunman arrived. When the gunfire was over, Hughes said, Ashbrook sat in the back pew, put a gun to his head, shot himself, and fell over, deader than a doornail. So there you go, boys and girls. Another saga from America. Another little piece of Americana for you. 5670560. Pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes?
Neil, whatever happened to that guy that Rick Sanchez ran over with his...
Let's go to a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
He was doing his best Charlton
Yeah.
in the church.
And
he didn't kill any...
Okay, thanks. 567. Okay, some real thoughtful calls here again this morning. This is great. Let's put on the NOAA Weather Channel, okay, and we can be as impressive as the fan is waffing. That's what we ought to be doing today. These people got no material. They got no thoughts on their mind. They're in la-la land, baby.
Yeah.
Which I've been very accurately telling you for the last 200-300 years. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
What's up, man? I was listening to the show yesterday.
Yeah.
And I couldn't call. I was at work. I was at Mango's on what day was it, Tuesday?
Yes.
When Al Sunshine walked.
You want to apologize now for being there on Tuesday, sir?
No. I was sitting inside and I see him. He interviewed the...
He's an asshole.
Yeah, he interviewed, I think, the manager or the owner of the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting with my girlfriend, and I tell her, I said, if this fat ass comes and bothers me or harasses us, I'm going to stick that microphone and shove it up his mouth. I can't...
Shove it up his ass.
I never liked that guy. He's always trying to, just butt into everyone's business.
I mean, you talk about taking yourself a little bit too seriously and a little more self-important. I mean, I realize he's got that schlock job on there, a shame on you routine, which is a package consultant deal they created for him. But nevertheless, I mean, in the middle of an emergency to be running around lecturing people and bitching people out while the sun was shining?
He should be ashamed of himself. And, the problem is, the hurricane wasn't even going to hit us. I mean,
right.
Should we just be scared and crying, sitting naked in our houses?
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I don't understand what they want us to do. And Dwight, I used to have respect.
I know what I would like him to do. Go mind his own business. Go do something constructive.
Yeah, I agree. And I was watching the news earlier that day, and I used to have respect for Channel 10. I like the weathermen they have, but I can't stand Dwight Lauderdale.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching the news. And these people were they were showing clips of these people at Hollover Beach.
Every 3 seconds
well,
they
yeah,
were showing it.
Right, but there was a little wavy and this and that. And
wavy gravy. Yeah.
There was a dog, and the guy says, the dog didn't, and Dwight Lauderdale says, the dog didn't ask to be there. How can they be sitting there because the dog's getting a little wet?
How does he know if the dog asked to be there? Did he speak to him?
Well, whatever. The point is, what a bunch of sissies. I mean, they're watching the waves. Nothing's happening.
I walk out of here at 2 o'clock that day, and the sun is shining. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. There was no problem. There was no wind. There was no hysteria. Life was going on, and they're acting like they're all depressed because they're just like the mayor, Mayor Pinga. They're all depressed because we're not getting psychotic and panicky about it.
And what's funny because someone called before. It should be on the front page today that other whatever girth or whatever it's called is not going to hit us.
Girth.
Why is that on 15?
Right.
Why is that not on? That should be on the first page saying, hey.
Because that would be giving information. That would be like being a real newspaper. They don't want to do that.
Well, I think it's terrible, and we should hold them accountable for their lack of journalism.
Well, just say Al Sunshine. I'll see you at Mango's.
All right, later.
Okay. 5670560. Yeah, I didn't have much comment on that yesterday, probably because nobody watches Channel 4 and almost even far fewer know who Al Sunshine even is. He ought to change his name to Al Gloomy Day, not Sunshine. Al Dark Cloud. Because he didn't bring any sunshine into our lives on Tuesday. He just infuriated, nauseated me, revolted me with his disgusting, unacceptable, psychotic performance, bitching people out, making all kinds of accusations. Don't you feel responsible that you're jeopardizing the lives of your people here? No, get out of here, fatso, before I break your goddamn legs. Honestly, I would have paid $1,000 a minute to have seen a live shot of that when they really just beat the crap out of him. Just ripped the mic out of his hand and just smashed the camera and did one of those routines, like we see on the Tom Green show. In fact, that's what they should have had. Was Tom Green going in there doing the same thing? At least it would have been funny. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
Hey, listen, I got to speak to you about gun control.
Yes?
It's really a tragedy to see all these murders that are going on. But the reason that we have the Second Amendment is because...
Second Amendment's got nothing to do with individuals owning guns. Of course, you do understand that, don't you, sir?
No.
There's a well-regulated militia. It's got nothing to do with individuals owning guns.
Well,
back in colonial days, most individuals didn't own guns, by the way, but nevertheless.
Okay, anyway, the reason our forefathers gave us the right to have guns is so that we can protect ourselves from the government. Otherwise, you'd have Waco, Texas, any kind of government was unhappy.
Okay, these excuses talking about stuff.
No, it's true, Neil.
You don't want to have a conversation. Okay, have a nice day, pal. Another asshole. I let him say his thing. I listened to it, and I'm starting to respond. No! Okay. Okay, no. Whatever you say, pal. No. Just like I said, it's like arguing with the religious people. It's a religion. You're a crazy person, sir. You are certifiable. Just like the guy that went in there and shot up the Capitol building, you're certifiable. You belong in a rubber room somewhere so we can be protected from you. We also had, back in those days, we had slavery. We had women, who were like, didn't have the right to vote even, 10th class citizens, much less second class citizens. So all of this business, when it's convenient for you, it's kind of like selective piety, like the religious people do. Let's look back at those great forefathers and look at all the wonderful things that they did. They were so far ahead of their times, like Patty Chayefsky, not... So you have to base your laws and you have to base the foundation of civilization based on the realities of what it is today. Not what it was 200 years ago, not what it was when Jesse James was running around, or Wyatt Earp, or Wild Bill Hickok, or Alfred Hitchcock, or anybody else, but based on the reality of what it is today. And I'll say it again for the 8 millionth time, the American people collectively have shown beyond the shadow of a doubt that they aren't responsible enough to own handguns, or any other kind, much less any other kind of guns. They're not responsible to do it. It's like if you had a kid who's 17 years old, now legally he can go out and get a driver's license, but if every time he got in the car behind the car, he wrecked it, he got into some kind of a horrendous mess, you'd finally say, hey, guess what, Tommy? You can't drive a car anymore because you're irresponsible, you're a klutz, you're pathetic, you're dangerous. And the American public has shown beyond, and I don't care how many millions of people, I don't want to hear statistics, how many millions of law-abiding people and hunters, et cetera, and so on. The fact is it's too goddamn dangerous, because just as much as they talk about their rights, how about our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which means to be living safely and walk the streets and not have to be afraid when you go to school or walk outside that somebody's going to blow your crap away, because every nutcase in the world has got easy access not only to guns, but to semi-automatic guns. Uzis, 357s they got. Man, everybody and their brother should have a 357 Magnum, I think. And a bunch of automatic weapons, too. So we can all be like Clint Eastwood, huh? Feel real macho. Sir, you're the definitive, exactly what I'm talking about. There's no chance of having a conversation with people like you because, I'm trying to be polite. I sit and listen to what you have to say. And as soon as okay. I'm sorry, sir. Excuse me for confusing you with the facts. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I want to ask you a question. You may get mad, I don't know, and this has nothing to do with whether you believe in God or not, but you, a lot of times, harp on a lot of the negatives on religion. What about some of the positives?
Like what?
A lot of things. Have you ever been to some of the towns like Tennessee and some of these places
I lived in Nashville for 2 months. I couldn't get out there fast enough. The most bigoted, obnoxious bunch of drunks I've ever seen in my life.
Well, there are some good areas where there
inbreeders.
There are some good areas where there are families who lose homes due to tornadoes or hurricanes or whatever.
Why does God allow those hurricanes and tornadoes?
This has nothing to do with that. I'm just talking about people who are...
You can't. Again, you're being selective. You're giving me a song and a dance about the good things religion does, and of course, God being the foundation of all religions, depending on which God we're talking about. Why does your God create all these natural disasters and wreak so much havoc on his people that he invented?
That's a very good question.
Okay, thank you. When you come up with the answer, call me back. For the same reason that here we have a prayer thing last night. This was in a church. This was not in the middle of a cow field somewhere. This was in a church. Bunch of young people praying. They're entitled. I mean, they can, they're entitled to their superstitions. They've been brainwashed. They've been, had their brains taken away by their parents. But here they're praying to God, and all of a sudden, people start getting shot left and right. Where was God, sir? Instead of interrogating me, you tell me, where was God? Answer the question, Father Paranoia.
This is 560 QAM.
Word.
Oh!
I don't have to grow up. I'm a Guns-N' kid. I can always kill myself for something bad I did. It's gonna be cool when I kill everyone at school, 'cause my dad said it's okay. I'll exercise my right, that's by the NRA. That lets me be a Guns-N' kid.
All right.
He's a Guns-N' kid. I taught him how to shoot. What? He really loves the sight of blood. No, ain't that kind of cute. I'm a homicidal Nazi redneck with a site on the internet.
All right.
I'm a lifetime member of the NRA. That's why I raised a Guns-N' kid. Here, son.
Oh boy, a clip for my gun.
I'm glad that you're a Guns-N' kid.
11:02 at 560 WQM. Wait till you hear this story. Hang on tight to the sides of your seat, especially those people who are as nauseated and as offended by the sports nerds as we are. This is one of the greatest stories in history. Huntsville, Texas. William Prince Davis, who killed a man for $712, praised the Dallas Cowboys professional football team Tuesday before he was executed here.
Oh!
I'd like to say in closing, what about those Cowboys? Davis said just before the lethal injection took effect and he was pronounced dead.
Was he wearing a jersey?
Well, they were down 35-14. The fourth quarter there on Sunday, made a big comeback, won it in overtime. All right, there's Ishmael. There's the Rocket going down the field. He got the touchdown. All right. The Cowboys of the National Football League. This is from Reuters, of course, so they're a little of the National Football League, just in case we don't know who they are. Well, we all saw Debbie Does Dallas. Came from behind to tie the Redskins 35 and then won in overtime. Davis, 42, was sentenced to death for the June 1978 murder of a Houston ice cream company manager whom he shot in the chest with a pistol as he robbed him of $712 in receipts. June 78, it's 21 years later. And they finally gotten around to putting him to death. He was the 24th person executed in Texas this year and the 188th since the state resumed capital punishment in 1982 after lifting of a national ban by the U.S. Supreme Court. Before he died, Davis apologized to his victim's family and his own. No members of either family attended the execution as witnesses. I can't imagine why. Davis also said he was donating his body to science and that he hoped this would help someone. But his final words were, I'd like to say in closing, what about those Cowboys?
Oh!
Now, that could be any QAM listener, of course, during the other 20 hours a day when the sports nerds are listening. What about those fish? All right!
Oh!
That's the greatest story I have ever read in the history of my life. It is so perfect. Perfect. Too bad football doesn't begin with a G, because then you could have the 3 Gs, football, guns, and God. But there is a tremendous similarity because you do realize that guns, God, and football in Texas are all religions.
They could change the name to Goofball.
Yeah, there you go. I'd like to say in closing, what about those Cowboys? Oh! See ya. It's a true story. That's the worst part. It's true. It would be a great joke, but it's true. And you do understand.
That's the American fucking way.
That's right. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. What about those Cowboys? Oh! Let's hear it. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello. Mobile in Miami. Yes, sir.
Hello.
speak to me, yes.
Yes, not a mobile, I'm on a landline.
Here's a landline, whatever this guy is, landlocked.
I got a call from my mother from California on Tuesday when there was all this hurricane coverage.
Yeah.
My sister
Was she going like that a lot?
No, what happened was my sister worked at a hospital in Anaheim, California, and
Yes,
the
sir.
gunman went in there and shot 3 people. And she says, "Oh, you should be hearing it in the news." I said, "Mom, I can't hear anything because all we have here is the hurricane."
I never even
crap."
heard that story. I never even got one little sentence about that story.
No, it wasn't even covered by the papers here, but
Huh.
the LA Times, the guy went in, he was pissed off because his mother died, and
Yeah.
he went in and killed indiscriminately three workers in the hospital there. But
I'm sure glad he didn't discriminate anyway.
no, he didn't. But I think it's come to a time, and I believe New York City, don't they have a
Very
city
strict
law
laws.
that you can't have a gun?
Mhm.
And I think
Unless you got a permit, concealed weapons permit.
And I think it's time for people here in this state to just go to the streets and let's say, hey, no more guns, because you can't be safe in the church.
You go on the streets first and let me know how you do, pal.
Well, you'll be right behind me.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, pal. Have a great day. Yeah, this story, is it getting any coverage at all?
No.
No. What are they talking about?
Hurricane warnings, which are in effect because the...
Oh, my God. You know something, you people, it's hopeless. The people in the news media, they're all taking the same funny juice, okay? They're all crazy. 567. And how about those Cowboys?
Oh!
567-0560, pound 560 on our AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil?
All right.
First-time caller. I love your show. I think you're great. About the gun issue, I love guns. Don't own one, but I think they should take everybody's guns away regardless. You got my vote on that. And, I think they should have a special gun range where you go and you use their guns and you go shooting there with their guns and then you return the guns and you get to go home. And
Why is that? What do we need that for? What's the point?
That's for the people that
Because
like
it's
guns.
a good hobby?
That's the people that like that like guns that have the hobby and they want to go shoot somewhere, but they don't still they don't have guns and they don't have no guns in the street and man, you got my vote on that. I'm out of subject.
And have a great day.
Thank you.
See ya. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a lady in Hollywood. I was just about to rip the woman again. Here's one. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
I was just wondering whether you caught any TV, like CourtTV last night. You
No,
were on.
I don't watch CourtTV, no.
You were on, though. It was all about guns in Miami, of
I was
course.
on CourtTV?
Yeah. They took you as you were, like you do quite often, I guess, but I don't know how they got you on film, but talking about how down here is like a slaughterhouse with everybody having the guns and all.
Yeah.
And they just did like probably about a 2-minute thing of your show with you on there, and it just fit right in.
Where did they get that?
Remember a long time ago they asked when we were doing the Whammy thing if they could put you on Court TV, and the Whammy people gave them some footage.
Oh, that's where they got it from
I was
Whammy.
shocked.
It was fascist at Whammy, yeah.
But you fit right in,
Whammy.
Just that guy.
God, it sucks.
Yeah.
The guy that called before. Why can't you do something positive about all
About
your...
God, yeah, about religion. Mhm.
Isn't that disgusting?
When they stop killing each other and, doing all these crazy things and,
You're right on the money again,
Okay,
as you were
sweetheart.
with the Weather Channel.
crawl under the covers.
Thanks, Neil.
See ya. Yeah, we just came out, the hurricane. We got the big blowout there. We were all under the covers. We came out again, and all of a sudden the sun was shining in spite of our sunshine, and now we're getting ready to crawl underneath there again, I think. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. 9 minutes after 11 at QAM.
I've got 2 sets of lips.
Are you an a-hole? How about a mother effer? You can be when you attend the Euphemistic Profanity Seminar, coming to a Ramada Inn at an airport near you. That's where a euphemistic profanity instructor will show you how to use cartoon expletives in place of the words you really want to say. For example, an outburst like this might prove embarrassing.
Hey, Dad, don't step on that rake! Holy you
But after just one seminar with a euphemistic profanity instructor, the scene can completely change.
Hey, Dad, don't step on that rake! Ow, mother, father, cheese and crackers! You cork-soaking son of a bugger!
Better? You bet. You see, the system of euphemistic profanity is easy to learn because it's been perfected over thousands of years and used by the world's most virtuous people.
Hey, buongiorno, your holiness. Please watch you staff, we just had the Vatican floor waxed over here.
Bless you, my son. Whoop, whoop. Speaking for
pussy pudding mother hooper beat sucking aspartame checkered hedgehog fire ants mother father.
So what are you waiting for, you mother effer? Don't let embarrassing use of profanity rip you a new a-hole. Sign up for a seminar in euphemistic profanity, and you'll say,
Fucking shit, the sore thumb of a beached whale.
Your mama. Okay, 11:15 at 560. By the way, Goodfellas was on CBS last night as I was doing my channel surfing, looking to be educated and informed about what was going on in the world, like all these shootings, which they just had at least 30 seconds about this story on CNN, by the way. And I saw Joe Pesci on there going to MF, and it was off in about 3 seconds. Yep, I'm cured of Joe Pesci thanks to Raging Bull crap. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami Lakes. Hello.
The wacko from Waco that called before talking about, gee, that's why we need guns. Didn't all those people in Waco have a gigantic arsenal?
Yeah.
Aren't they all dead?
Yes.
So what's the big thing about having guns?
Well, let me ask you this. Is guns very effective against, like, nerve gas and against neutron bombs and nuclear warheads and
I don't think
tanks and all of these things?
Work too
I mean,
well at all.
what kind of a symbol? And here's the government, this rogue government that's got the Army and the Navy and the Marines and the Air Force and the Coast Guard and all of the military, and they got the National Guard and all of these weapons and all these unbelievable advanced technology, and we're going to take our little pea shooters and we're going to go out there and protect ourselves. Anybody who really, don't you understand, sir, they're just making up excuses for their love affair with guns, for this phallic obsession of theirs.
When's somebody going to call up and say, if all those little teenagers had guns, they could have protected themselves?
There you go.
That'll be the
it's
next.
like all those little 5-year-old kids that got shot in Los Angeles. If those little kids would have just had the guns on their hips, if they would have had a holster, they'd be alive today.
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
Get them, Neil.
God bless you. I mean, you cannot argue with religious people and with the gun nuts because, like I said at the beginning of the show, the gun thing is a religion. And much bigger than God. It's a much bigger G than the God thing. The guns are like, I mean, this is the fabric of their lives. You can't take it away from them because that's all that they are.
You son of a bitch.
Like him, exactly. It's a sickness. And no matter how much danger this thing poses, and no matter what kind of a psychotic society this has become because of it, oh, no, it's somebody else's fault. It's, they're not enforcing the laws good enough. Now, I will go along with that part, but that's only the beginning. Here's a mobile in Sunrise. Hello.
Neil, hey, how are you?
Pretty damn good, sir.
I was just wondering, do you think that the shooting in the church wouldn't have taken place if they'd only had the Ten Commandments in the Bible there?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's right.
I mean, if it's going to work in the public schools,
that's why it happens in schools, because they took God out of the public schools.
That's right.
What was the excuse in this church?
Obviously, there was no God and no Ten Commandments in the church.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's just the Lord works in mysterious ways.
He was busy steering the hurricane up the east coast of those heavily populated areas.
That's right. He wants to make sure it did the most damage possible.
Right, exactly.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Okay, that's another one of those good things that religion's done. That other guy that called about 25 minutes ago. How come you don't talk about the good thing? Okay, how about Northern Ireland, the Middle East, India and Pakistan, East Timor? I mean, there are just so many wonderful things that religion has spawned all throughout since man invented it. Since man invented it. Oh, you don't really mean since man invented it. The whole concept of it, brainwashing, control, power, stupidity, ignorance. And, of course, don't forget about all the overpopulation in the world, thanks in large part to the Pope and a lot of other stupid religious crap. Isn't it just a coincidence that Latin America is the most heavily overpopulated part of the world? Now that the Chinese have threatened to, blow your brains out if you have more than one kid? Isn't that just a coincidence that the Latin Americans, those good Catholics, are reproducing like rabbits? Because I think they're doing that rhythm method. It just don't seem to be working too good. They keep singing, we got rhythm. That's why all those Latin singers are doing that hoochie coochie like Ricky Martin, baby. They got rhythm. That's why that Mambo number 5 is, that Mambo crap's making a big comeback. They got rhythm. Here's Hollywood. Hello. Hollywood.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I think you're forgetting that God works in mysterious ways.
That's true. I did forget that.
Did you ever think that there might have been a shortage of acolytes up there for the Catholic priests?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why all those young...
I hear that acolyte is less filling and more great taste.
And where was God, by the way, at Auschwitz? 6 million people died. Where was he? This was a chosen people, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Where was he?
Well,
you know where he was?
Where was he?
Nowhere. There is no God.
Oh.
I just thought I'd let you know.
There's only...
Neil, God! You're the only God.
Thank you, sir. God bless you. Kiss my ring. Rhymes with thing. 567. The religious people, like I've said before, religious crazies, it's a redundancy. And I hate to break the news to you because a lot of you need a crutch. And if it makes you feel better, I don't want to take away your crutch, but I do want to speak it the way it is. And that's the way it is. It's all bullcrap. It's all garbage. And to see this kid embracing his friend there after the shooting, after his friends had gotten shot and murdered, like, oh, we got to turn to God. It's the only way. Well, they were turning to God, and he didn't help them out there last night. And don't give me the song and the dance about, oh, well, he took him. It was their time. It was their time so they could go up there and sit with the angels and, praise God for eternity. All these crazy heaven people and afterlife people. See, they don't want to let you have a good time now. The good stuff will come after you're dead. Well, I got an idea for those people, okay? Since they're so crazy about how good it's going to be in heaven after they're dead, why don't they just blow their brains out right now and go find out what it's like up there and leave us alone? Sounds like a hell of a plan. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Hank Goldberg Show with Beano Cook. Beano, what a maniac he is. 2 to 3 this afternoon. There'll be a whole bunch of people listening to that.
No.
3 to 3:30, Hank will be on without Beano, which a lot more people will be listening then. And then 3:30, the Marlins at the Giants. The Marlins who keep losing and losing and losing. And then tonight we got the Panthers at Nashville, in Knoxville, Tennessee, to play the Predators in the Panthers' first exhibitionist game of the season. And your first chance down here at any rate here, Jiggs McDonald. His first radio play-by-play, by the way. Jiggs has been broadcasting hockey for 600 years, since before Foster Hewitt was an infant, but always on television, even before they had TV. So tonight will be his first radio job, and I'm sure he'll be a gigantic improvement over Christina. You remember what we used to have on the station?
Moron.
Yeah, that one. Even though Jiggs is 110 years old, he'll still be okay. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Great.
I wanted to just say I do have a gun, but I don't have a collection or anything.
Is it like A as an automatic?
Semi-automatic.
Oh,
It's a handgun.
Trace the call, George. We're going to go take a semi-automatic weapon. Why do you need a semi-automatic weapon, sir? What's the point?
Actually, the reason I do have it is for what I consider is for protection for myself and family.
Yeah. You need a semi-automatic weapon to protect yourself and your family?
Oh, in case I missed the first time.
Uh-huh.
No, actually, I don't think that even if they ban guns all outright, that they'll ever be able to get them away from all the criminals that have them illegally.
Mm-hmm.
And they can never stop them from coming in.
Mm-hmm.
They tried that with the drugs. That's not working out so well.
Mm-hmm. How about if we just make it a lot more difficult for crazy people to get them? How would that be, huh? Background checks, waiting on, just
I believe in that.
registration, all these normal things that we do with things like cars, you know?
I believe in that.
Uh-huh.
I back that 100%.
Great. Because the other thing is, it's just, an exercise. There's no point in really talking about banning guns because it's never going to happen. There's 242 million guns out there.
Oh,
so what's the point? Just like the president's got his, turn in your weapon. They might as well laugh. It's a joke.
It is. They'll never stop them from coming in. They'll never stop the bad people from having them.
I think instead of that program, the president ought to have turn in your Puerto Rican terrorist program instead. That would make some sense.
That might work.
I think he's losing. I think since Monica stopped servicing him, I think he's going downhill. I do.
I just, for myself, I have it for protection. It may be a crutch, but I know that if anyone...
Well, let me ask you this. Why would you have to have a gun, talking about crutches, when you can pray to God and he'll protect you and your family?
I don't go that route.
Oh, he's not doing too good of a job lately, is he?
No.
Right there in a church last night, if you remember the rhetoric after Littleton, and these people all saying, oh, well, they've taken God out of the schools, and that's why this is going on, and yada, yada, yada. And then, of course, they made a big folk hero out of this. The one girl that said she believed in God, and they still blew her crap away, and she's dead. But here we are in a church where they have this yearly special thing. They're dancing around the maypole, or whatever the hell it is, and 7 kids are dead.
Yeah, holy bullets.
Have a great day, pal.
You too.
Okay. He's a fairly reasonable guy, but we got to go get his automatic weapon away. Okay, you don't need automatic weapons and semi-automatic weapons to protect yourself and your family and go out and kill Bambi. You don't need an automatic weapon to go shoot Bambi like our lady friend over there in Fort Myers who likes her venison. Extra rare, by the way. 5670560. Oh, here's some hurricane news.
Eastern time this morning.
Yeah, get out of here. And pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. You people, I'll tell you, it's a good thing you got this hurricane to cover because you people in the news media, you really blow, okay? You blow. Talk about blowing smoke. By the way, did we ever get, we haven't seen John Penis, have we? We've got 4 million questions for this guy. Like the thing about Nick's, thank God it's not Tuesday or Wednesday, or I'd be telling you to go down there and get a 10% discount. Because we don't know crap from Shinola when it comes to our accounts, because John Penis especially, he's just, he's just kind of like throwing us to the wolves as usual. He's busy out there ripping off some other people, no doubt. What I do know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you want some of the best handmade cigars in the history of mankind, and you want them at an affordable price, Nick's Cigars is a place you'll not only like, you will love it. What the hell was that?
Do it again.
Oh, seriously, what the hell was that? Did somebody mung on this CD? That must be a goddamn Commie Pinko plot. Somebody munged on our thing here. Let me wipe it off, and the CD, too.
How about them Cowboys?
Greatest story in the history of the human race, beyond a shadow of a doubt. And unlike most of the religious stories, this one is believable. It's true. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. You think I should try that thing again? Or not?
Yeah, try it again.
One moment, please. See, it wasn't even the right cut this time. But anyway.
There's a brand new game all the kids are learning to play now.
All right.
In every big city all across the U.S. of A now. It's called Some Hardware and blow the other fellow away now. They've all got guns, guns, guns out there on the street today. Out there on the street today. He's got a new machine started into show in town now. Still he brought his lunch and a 38 special to sell now. They can terrorize the teacher and she'll let him out before the bell now. They've got guns, guns, guns out there on the street today. Guns out there on the street today. Some boys and girls you can make like a green beret now. Green beret. Be the first kid on your block that the cops come and carry away now. So what if Johnny can't read? He can still join the NRA now. Cause they've got guns, 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 they can all throw each other away. Yeah, they've got guns, guns, guns out there on the streets today. Guns out there on the streets today.
See, a lot of these lunatics don't realize that the sad part of Waco is that by doing what they did, the FBI and the ATF people, what they did was they legitimized these people and gave them credibility, as opposed to just letting them do themselves in because being animals, they, ought to lose their souls. 28 before noon at 560 WQAM. Here's Hialeah. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
In fact, I think Janet Reno's on shaky ground on the whole deal. Yes, sir.
Good morning. I have a couple of observations for being partial or non-partial in regards with owning guns.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't own one myself.
Sir? Well, why not?
Well, I don't think I had the need for it, but I'll give
Aren't you in Hialeah?
I'll give you an example of a country that has a gun ban law, and it didn't help it much against one situation. Just pulling it out of the hat. It was a few years ago when there was a shooting of in a schoolyard, a schoolhouse, that this individual walked up and started shooting children. And I believe he turned the gun against himself and killed, blew himself away also. Now,
what, in England?
Yeah, back in England.
Yeah.
And
well, they just had an episode today where 6 people got shot at a military base in South Africa too. But those are isolated incidents. I mean,
right.
They happen very,
but in
very
England,
rarely.
Yeah.
In America, these things happen almost every day.
Right, but in England, there's a gun ban law.
Yes.
Right? Now, that didn't help.
Did you hear what I just said or not? Or aren't you paying any attention? Let me say it again. It happens almost never in those places. Very rarely.
Well, Well, the ones that we hear. Now, the situation...
Well, not the ones that we hear. Have you ever been to any of those countries in Western Europe?
No, not in England.
Well, then, no, any of the other ones.
Not South Africa.
No, I'm talking Western Europe, sir. South Africa, last time I checked, ain't too close to Western Europe.
Right.
Most of the countries have got very strict gun laws, except for Switzerland, where all the residents have guns because they're members of the military. Except for there, almost nobody's got guns, and nobody's blowing each other away. So evidently they must be working pretty damn well.
Right, but at the same time, I believe in what you're saying, that there
and
should
how
be
about
stricter,
Canada?
Right, there should be stricter laws in regards to people that own guns, and I understand that there should be a 1-800 call-up number, national number. There shouldn't be any more gun fairs or gun flea markets.
I got in the car this morning, okay, and I turn on my ignition, radio comes on this station. The first spot that I hear is for a gun show.
Right.
This is the morning after we had another mass killing at a church in Fort Worth, Texas, and the first spot I hear on this radio station is for another goddamn gun show.
Right. I totally agree with you in that respect.
You're a grave robber, Greg Reed. You have no conscience. You don't care. Just give us the frickin' money, like I always said. It wouldn't make any difference if they blew 100 people away up the street here somewhere. We'd still be running spots for goddamn gun shows.
Right. The only thing that I don't agree on your stance is, first of all, I consider guns just as any other, quote unquote, a tool. You can blame the tool, but you're not blaming the person who's hacking.
Tools don't kill people.
Well,
only people with tools kill people.
I can hack somebody that does.
Screwdrivers, hammers.
Right, but you can hack somebody that does with a machete. That doesn't mean you want to ban machete.
Don't bring OJ into this again. Now he's starting to sound like our buddy.
Roy!
Don't bring OJ in.
But as saying, why blame the instrument when it's actually the person behind the
Let me ask you this. Is a machete or any other kind of a knife, is it invented for the sole purpose of killing somebody?
Well, of course not.
Okay. How about like a car?
Well, same thing.
Right. Guns. What are the purpose of guns?
Well, guns, there's
to kill something.
Hunting.
To kill
of course.
something. Yeah, animals, people. Kill something. That's the only, there's no other reason for a gun. That's the only function it serves is to kill something or somebody.
Well, of course, protection.
Well, you say protection. You call it protection. If you kill an animal, is it protection?
Well, no,
unless there was like Smokey the Bear was standing at your window, ready to pounce.
Well, exactly. But then at the same time, you're saying, well, we should just ban guns altogether.
It's not going to happen. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that we have to be a lot more restrictive in who we allow to get guns.
Of course.
And all this paranoia by the gun lovers about gun shows and about registration. Most of these people are against any kind of, because their paranoia says, oh, well, as soon as they start making any more laws and any more intrusions, then the next thing you know, they're going to come and take our guns away.
Right,
these are paranoid, delusional people.
Correct. I agree with you 100%.
And have a great day.
Thanks, sir. And
if I lived in Hialeah, well, I don't want to give you advice. Here's that article that I saved again from USA Today, August 31. Canada makes the case that gun restrictions work. In 1997, Detroit, right across the river there from Windsor, Ontario, in 1997, Detroit had 354 firearm homicides. We're not talking about how many people with accidents like we had 2 here last week, early in the week, 2 little kids that died with guns. The one father gets pissed off at the mother, so it kills the 5-year-old kid. And the day before that, we had the other little accident there with the 2 little kids. One of them is dead. Now, this isn't including accidents with guns. This is 354 firearm homicides in Detroit in 1997. Windsor, 1,000 yards away, right across the Ambassador Bridge, had 4. And like it says, even taking into account the population difference, Detroit's got 5 times Windsor's population. That would make the 4 would be 20 compared to 354. 354 to 20. Listening to the same music, same movies, same TV shows, same video games, different culture, different availability of guns.
And you can read that article.
I beg your pardon?
On our website.
Oh, and you can read the article on our website, on neilrogers.com. We got the whole article. Thank you, Eric. We got the whole article on there for you, and every one of you ought to be reading that article because it says it brilliantly by Paul Labadie, who's a freelance writer who lives in Michigan. I mean, you can make all the arguments you want. The fact is that there are civilized people and there are barbarians, and this is a country of barbarians. It's not complicated. I'm not saying everybody in this country are barbarians, but they're too goddamn many. And if we had as many people who were pissed off and fired up and demanding of their right to be able to live in a civilized society as there are people demanding their rights to have a goddamn peace, then maybe we'd have some goddamn peace and quiet and be able to live in a sane place. But while the gun lovers are running around making all the noise and screaming and writing all the goddamn letters, that's what everybody else is doing. Thank God it's Thursday night and the Tom Green Show's on. 22 before noon at 560 WQAM. I always kind of thought he was certifiable too, especially with all his obsession with the gangsters. Then I realized he hated American Airlines. I said, he's not as bad as I thought he was, that Jimmy. What is that? Godfather's Pizza. All right. Where did that come from?
He just kept it over the years. I thought he was bringing the pizza.
God bless you, sir. In fact, it's too bad there's not a pizza on the thing. That would have been even better. Anyway, we're having a great show here today because we're solving all the problems of mankind, the God problem, the gun problems, the lethal injection problems in Texas. Thank you, sir. A Godfather's pizza tray. A thing. Oh, do I love Godfathers. Maybe someday somebody will ship one over from Fort Myers. And a pizza, too. But anyway, Sam came in here, so all the lines were lit up, and we're actually having a meaningful show today. He said, how about if I screw up your show? And I said, okay. And by the way, speaking of tickets, I'm a lot more concerned about my Backstreet Boys tickets. Maybe somebody out there in the audience, we got December 5th and 6th are coming up at the Mac Arena, the concerts that were canceled from the other day. Oh, by the way, nice job there, Igor, who drove over to Tampa to get away from the hurricane. What a putz. And we have no food for you today either, Igor, because I got to go get my, would that be bad? I don't care. She didn't care last time. Isn't it tacky to eat and then go get your teeth cleaned?
Just swish real good before you leave.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was bad. That was, you hear that? Homophobia again from that little spick. Swish real good. Yeah, I usually do. I don't know about that. Yeah, but if we get food, then he'll want some of it, that putz. That pusillanimous putz. But at any rate, so Sam gives me this because, of course, and I said to Sam, have you been listening? I asked him about the thing about the guy that said, how about those cowboys before he got the lethal injection in Texas there? And I said, no, he didn't because he was in a meeting. He was in a meeting. He was holding his meat, Sam the Sham. Keep listening for your channel. Now, what does that mean, keep listening? See, he gives me a thing that doesn't make any sense. What?
Keep listening, as opposed to not.
No, check back with us 2, 3, 4 times a day. Oh, that's the wrong station for that?
Tune into us. Stick around because we're going to be giving away. So, how many? How many do you say? 2 or 3? 2. 2 QAM Tony Roma's packs, including a pair of Dolphins Cardinal tickets and dinner for 2 at Tony Roma's. How do you like that? Then he puts this other crap on him. See, we don't have a toll-free number on this show. The sports nerds, they got a toll-free number. We don't have a toll-free number. We don't have a real studio. We don't have a whole bunch of guest mics. We don't have a real phone system. And we certainly don't have a toll-free number. We got plenty of nothing. We got the big ratings. Got a lot of revenue here, bringing in tons of cash, making a big profit on this show. Do we have anything else?
No.
No, nothing. So anyway, we'll give a couple of those away during the rest of the show, the last 2 hours. I mean, how much damage can that do? You know, we tried very assiduously not to give anything away because it destroys the show. Gets a bunch of freeloaders tying up the phones as opposed to our usual brilliant callers who are here busy solving the problems of mankind, all the social ills of America. Here's a mobile in South Miami. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
And it looks like the Christian Coalition has something maybe a little more to worry about than a bunch of gay guys, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, they got people running the church. I just had I was looking on the internet here, and I'm looking at the thing about the church shootings, and it's just amazing if you look at some of these articles. I'm looking at the AOL one, and I think the guys that recopied these are a bunch of idiots anyway. But you talk about these guys, you know, they're all the students were in there to affirm their faith and concern for the problems of society. Mm-hmm. And a guy walks in with a gun, and
starts blowing people away.
And then the suspect rolled a pipe bomb down the aisle toward the front of the sanctuary. And this is the point when the kids and adults that were in there apparently began realizing that this was not the normal situation.
See, if he had been rolling a joint, they would have come in and busted his ass. But he was rolling a pipe bomb down the aisle, and they thought, well, it's the American effing way, man.
Exactly, man. I mean, I don't know if these people are like Pat Buchanan, these guys, they're so concerned about
I'm so
in the
glad you
family.
mentioned Pat Buchanan, by the way, because at the time when we thought that Jesse DeBody Ventura and the Reform Party, they were going to give us a real alternative, now it looks like Pat, they don't care who it is. Anybody who says they'll run on that ticket as long as it isn't beady-eyed little Ross Perot, they'll say, okay. So obviously the Reform Party doesn't stand for anything.
No, they don't. It's a bunch of crap. I mean, it's, you know, those guys are so concerned about stuff that scares them. That's why they want to have guns. They're afraid of gay guys. I mean, the way they think it's prison. Like
yeah, they're a
they
bunch
think
of little pansies, right?
Yeah, they think you guys are gonna, you know, as soon as they bend over to pick up a spoon, it's all over, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got these people running in the churches.
By the way, you'll notice that the gun lovers are always the ones buying the soap on the rope. Have a great day, pal.
You too. Take care.
Okay. Yeah, see, now the lines are, so help me God, if this show winds up going in the toilet because Sam came in here, and when I said, but it was my own show, he asked me. I don't want to blame him yet. Much better off. Don't be giving stuff away on this show, Neil. Okay, you're right. We've been going just gangbusters. Almost a year now we've been doing that. Because otherwise the show gets taken over by a bunch of nerds.
How about those Dolphins? All right.
Last words. 567-0560. It's like, I remember Shirley Tweeters once upon a time. telling a story about some Marine. And it wasn't a military thing. He didn't die from some combat wound or anything, but he died. You know, it does happen to the best of us. And his last words on his deathbed were, Semper Fi. Semper Fi. Yeah. Too bad they didn't have soap on his rope on his soap, or soap on his rope. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Palm Beach. Hello.
Neil, good morning.
Yes, sir.
First-time caller.
Happy Thursday.
Yeah, isn't it though?
Happy
and, I'm frustrated with all this gun business going on, but just a couple of comments. I think too much of the gun business is economic in nature, and the country just simply does not have the will to make the changes necessary to do what they have to do because of all the game playing going on in Congress with the watering down of the gun bill, et cetera. What came to mind is that we have all these ridiculous subsidies for peanuts, for gas, electricity, and whatnot. If it's such an economic issue with the gun manufacturers, why doesn't the federal government step up, pay these idiots subsidies to
we wouldn't
start slowing down their production?
want to subsidize people for things that kill people, like tobacco, for example. I'm sorry.
No, I understand that, but we've got such a monster that you can't do one thing without trying to contain the rest of it. If you start a subsidy, and then if they have some real teeth in the laws as far as mandatory gun sentencing, you know, I'm sure they do now, but I'm not sure how strong they are, that if you use a gun in the commission of a crime, I think there are 3 or 4 steps. You can go all the way up to life, but obviously how many people can the prisons hold for people that are using guns?
Yeah, especially when we got all these bad marijuana people in there taking up all the jail cells.
Oh, yeah. But the money issue as far as the PACs with those idiots in Washington with the National Rifle Association, so many of the people in Congress are spineless. They can't stand up and do the right thing because they're more afraid of pissing off the people that throw them their soft money, quote unquote. And it's very frustrating. I can't imagine kids having guns, killing kids, killing grown-ups.
Everything in America is about money. Just
of course it is.
The whole world basically, but especially America. Everything is about money.
But it's not going to change until we have no leadership in this country.
Yeah.
And until
what do you mean in this country? How about here? Our leader was on 2 days ago telling us that we should have been good and psychotic about a storm that didn't develop here. He was on there hyperventilating because he was disappointed people were getting psychotic. So if we don't even have at the local level anybody who's a leader, how are you going to get it at the state or federal level? You're not going to get it.
It's pretty tough to have leaders when they're anal like the mayor from that country south of here.
Rectum. Yeah.
But I'm frustrated. You know, I used to be a hunter and everything, and I turned in all my guns. Predominantly shotguns, but it's just ridiculous. It's totally out of control, and nobody has a clear roadmap of 3 or 4 items that it's going to take to go ahead and resolve the issues. Because trying to solve the problems on the world on the radio is terrific, but again, push comes to shove, what are you really going to do about it?
Absolutely nothing.
Put your money where your mouth is and solve it, but nobody wants to. So the killings go on.
Okay, pal.
Have a great day.
See you under the bed.
You got it.
Okay. See you in the broom closet. Oh, it's already full? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Big thing in Newsweek, by the way, about internet sex, how it's transformed the porno industry. There's a piece about a young lady named Jen Teal. What a nice name that is. She's 23. When she started her website 2 years ago, Jen Teal thought it would be just a hobby, a self-described total nerd in high school. She taught herself Photoshop and put together a website with her fiancé, Chris. Then, like legions of other internet entrepreneurs, Jen Teal, 23, found herself in deep, so to speak. Or maybe Chris found himself in deep. I gave up all my personal time, she says. I'm at the office at least 10 hours a day, even when I'm home on my laptop. I'm doing it. It's just mid-morning on the West Coast, and Jen Teal is still groggy from dancing the previous night at a club called Bob's Classy Lady. Later, she'll perform a live masturbation scene on her webcam, or maybe do an explicit online chat. If in the next year I'm making $50,000 a month from the website, she says, I'll cut way back on making movies and dancing. This is going to carry me past my porn career. We're going to be giving out some of those websites, by the way, a little bit later on. For those of you who are, tired of reading about the simulated thing and want to at least take a look at what the real thing is all about. Oh, and by the way, it says, though commercial sites are increasingly cooperating with filter companies like NetNanny and Surfwatch to keep kids out, 25% of teens in a recent survey conducted by Yankelovich Partners and WebSense Inc. by Yankit Partners said they had visited X-rated sites. 25% of the teens said that, and of course 60% were lying. Here's Miami. Hello.
Why do you like Jamaicans, Neil? Neil.
What are you saying? What are you babbling, sir? What
like
kind of swill is coming out of your puss? What kind of sounds are coming from you, sir?
Why you don't like Jamaicans?
Yeah, go jerk pork, okay, and get out of here. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless. Has anybody mentioned Jamaicans today?
No.
No. I mentioned about Puerto Rican terrorists, but I didn't mention nothing about Jay Coons. You're the reason I don't like Jamaicans, sir, because you got nothing to say. And because you like to hog all the good stuff.
Yeah, man.
56705. You notice, by the way, thank God, I shouldn't say this. Nobody wants those tickets. Oh, good. Wouldn't that be something if we couldn't give them away? That would be great. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Great.
I was driving down MacArthur Crossway this morning.
Yes?
And the car in front of me had a bumper sticker. And it says, he said, when they come for your gun, be sure to give them the ammunition first. So, listen, you're becoming quite a figure in this anti-gun thing.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Are you sure George ain't advising you of anything over there? Q and George?
Oh, God. So sad, sir. You're so pathetic. Again, get on a rubber raft. Go back where you came from, okay? You're all the same. You all sound the same. You all smell the same. You're all one-dimensional. Maricon, bogeron. You're boring, man. You're boring. Let's get some illegal aliens in here who at least are some fun, who at least got a sense of humor, who at least are a little more than one-dimensional. You're so boring, pal. You're terminal. God. Bugaron. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I love your show. When you're actually talking about sports, you were saying that
talking about sports.
Yeah, when you were saying that this country is all money. The other problem is that this country is a lot of politics, and the problem is that it hasn't been until recently, in the last decade, that the liberals in this country have used guns as an issue to grab the middle.
Everything is a liberal conspiracy. That's right.
No, it's not a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. It's common sense politics. Just like the conservatives want to do, they want to grab the middle in the electorate, and the liberals want to do the same thing. So they push this issue of guns, which grabs the attention of a lot of people, and so they can get votes.
And
it's not a big issue.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's not a big issue.
It's not a big issue.
And why not?
What?
And why shouldn't it be?
Because guns have been legalized in this country since the birth of the very nation.
And
it's only been recently.
And where else are people shooting each other with guns at the rate that they're doing here? Any place else you can name me, sir?
What's that?
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. 4 minutes till noon at QAM.
QAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
What a shame it's down to a Category 1. How do you like that? Winds are now down to, 80 miles an hour? But because it's going through that northeast corridor there, naturally we have to have at least 23 and a half hours of coverage a day. See, we're tired of that. I hate to break the news to all you people on CNN. We already went through our 85,000 intensive hours of coverage. We're really sick and tired of that already. Plus, it's peanuts now compared to what we were terrorized with there for days on end. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I don't even know where to begin. We have the problem. There's one problem. How about the problem with the NFL and these guys, Leon Lett, coming back 5 times? 5 times he sued the drug policy.
And
they let him back.
They don't care. They don't care about it.
And I pass the
They
bad
don't care.
check.
And as long as professional sports, as long as it's not gambling, they don't care about it. Drugs, they don't care about. Okay, get it, and the phones they care about too. Get you a real phone and call me back.
How about those Cowboys?
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil Guy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, big problems in the world, though. So let's worry about football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's worry about Leon Lett.
What I think is that you and George need some military-style guns so that anybody that brings anything into your station to give away, you can just blow their crap away
Yeah,
right
like
there.
Sam. Come on back in, Sam.
Exactly.
Sorry.
So I'm not calling to suck up for tickets. Definitely not.
Yeah, it's a killer. Kills the show.
It really
That's
does.
probably why he came in here. Probably his buddy Greg put him up to it, you know?
Exactly. Well, I wanted to call and let you know, you don't know him, of course, but one of your biggest fans, Mr. John Parker, out in Davie, just had a baby girl, or his wife did, actually.
Nice going, Mrs. Parker.
And
Wonder who the dad is, yeah?
Exactly. But Stephen Wright's a comedian, and he had a great line about he had a crush on his dental hygienist, so he said he ate a whole bag of Oreo cookies before he went in. Said they had to cancel all the other appointments.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of material.
Thank you.
See ya.
Yeah, you know something? You're paying them to clean your teeth anyway. Why should you feel guilty, you know? Like, like I nicked myself shaving a couple of spots. I got a bad blade. Ever get a bad blade and you're not even a Puerto Rican?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Nicked a couple of minor nicks in there, and luckily one of the scabs is already gone. I'm like self-conscious about that, and I'm thinking to myself, of all days, I almost never nick my shelf shaving, but nevertheless, it must be hockey time. The spokesman's starting to have that effect on me again. I'm starting to talk like the spokesman. What the hell should I feel self-conscious about? I'm paying them. I don't have no BO. I don't have no bad breath, although if I ate something, I probably would. And I'm paying them to clean my teeth and get rid of the bad breath and get rid of all that stuff in between the teeth. Which I don't like getting your teeth cleaned anyway, boy. That's a nasty. And they're always sadists. All the hygienists, they're really sadistic. They want to inflict as much pain and draw as much blood. Have just every time you spit out, which I have a lot of practice, every time you spit out, boy, just a sea of blood. And then they got that big smile on their face. Oh, that's good. That's good. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Great.
I'm just wondering, what's up with these tolls? They're still not getting...
Yeah, they're not up, pal. They're not up. Just consider yourself saving a lot of money. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
I think the problem is that,
Isn't it sad that Cubans have nothing to say? Yes, sir.
I think the problem is that we're going back to laws that were written, 1,000 years ago. I mean, well, not 1,000, but
10,000 years ago, right?
And they're going through and they say,
The dawn of civilization.
Yeah, they go back to the amendments and they're saying the Constitution, that, that we have the right to hold the guns and so forth and so on. I mean, that was made at the time when, you're talking about Civil War, they were going against wars against England, stuff like that. I mean, it has nothing to do with the relevancy of
Okay,
now.
thanks for your history lesson, sir. 567-056. Woo! Like I said, love those Pakistanis. Love my Chinese friends. Let me say it again. When I was in Amsterdam those 10 days, did I hear one word of Espanol? I did. I take that back. I was in McDonald's. The last time I was in there, that's how I knew it was time to come home. Last time I was in there, I was sitting eating my double cheeseburgers and not eating the bun, of course, doing my best Rick Sanchez Atkins without the veal chop. And all of a sudden I heard... Yeah. And then the guy, by the way, he was eating an ice cream cone, and half of it fell all over his shirt. And he had like some kind of he was a New York kind of a spick. And I said to myself, yeah, there is a God. Because everybody else was so polite and so friendly, except, of course, for the drug-selling Jamaicans out there in the streets. Are they Jamaicans? Probably none of them are Jamaicans, but just because that asshole called before, I'll say they are. What do you call those people besides barbarians? The ones that are from like Trinidad and Tobago and the Netherlands Antilles. What do you call them?
West Indians.
West Indians?
From the West Indies.
Oh, I call them smarmy.
What the rock, cookman, rock, crack.
With the Rasta hair, the whole deal. You take those people out of there and it would be paradise. I'd be there in 5 minutes. If I had a phone call and somebody said they just took all the Rasta people out of Amsterdam, I'd get on a plane right now. Yeah. I'd take my dogs to that lethal injection place and say, how about those dolphins? We'll see you guys.
And I'd be on that plane. Here's Miami Lakes. Hello.
Neil, I got a question for you. If you're at home with your family and 3 guys come in for a home invasion and you don't have a gun, what are you going to do?
3 guys come in for a home invasion?
Yeah, it happens all the time.
It does?
People break into houses all the time in Miami.
Yeah. How about if you have a good security system? Doesn't the alarm go off and make all kinds of noise and they run like a son of a bitch?
But you might not be able to afford that much money for a security system.
Well, and so what do you? They're not going to knock your house off if you can't afford it. What are they going to get?
I don't know.
Okay, well, start thinking about that, sir. Okay, use a little bit of logic. And before you call next time, use some logic. If you're some kind of a schlepper, are they going to go do a home invasion on a schlepper's house?
No.
Of course not. You're safe. Just put a sign on the door saying, I'm a schlepper, I got nothing. They're not going to come and bother you. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Oh, thank God we've had no calls for those Dolphin tickets. All right. Oh, thank God for me.
Not on the air anyway.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they call off the air, but I hang up, of course.
Because they don't want to talk to me and they just think that they can call off the air and
I want those tickets.
No,
what do I have to do to get those tickets?
No chance. If you want to call and be civilized, and then, of course, after making a great contribution to the program, ask for the tickets, I will consider it. That's the way we do it on this show on those very, very rare occasions when we want to give something away, or when Sam is desperate to get in some free plugs for his good friends at Tony Roma's so we can eat some more free meals there. Because basically we've discovered that this whole place is just a scam for the boss and for Sam and his cronies. 9 minutes past noon at 560 WQAM, your scam station.
This is 560 QAM.
Took a vacuum cleaner, attached some crazy scissors to the end of the nozzle, and voila! We created the Flowbee. Unfortunately, no one bought it. But now we're trying again. We're taking a vacuum cleaner, attaching some other crazy stuff to the end of the nozzle, and poof! We've created the all-new Blow-Me.
Hey, this is awesome. And the best part is I only look stupid when I'm actually using it, not the 3 weeks afterwards like a flub.
Oh, Blow-Me. Hey, it's the name of the product. What do you want? Buy yours today.
Okay. 12:14 at 560 WQAM. By the way, after my last vacation, I guess when I came back, I forgot to mention the grotesque job that a local travel agent did on me. I don't want to mention no names on the air because we certainly don't need any more litigation. But, I mean, you talk about lies and jerking you around and promising to upgrade you and all kinds of baloney and having you run around in the airport like a chicken with your head cut off and you think you're going to die from a heart attack because these people are hosing you so bad. Well, here's Bob Lincoln. Hello.
Neil,
Yes, sir.
I wanted to share this.
Couldn't have been a friend of Bob Lincoln's that did.
Yeah, unfortunately, unfortunately it was. They
won't be flying that airline no more.
Now, unfortunately, they cost me $12,000, so I don't want to get into that.
Uh-huh.
I wanted
I want to mention Virgin. We got shagged by the Virgin, but anyway.
You totally shagged.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to mention this. You know, you talk about it's all about greed, it's all about money, and you know the cholesterol. The low cholesterol, you know, with the Zycor and Provocol, you see all these ads that they have. $13 billion a year business, right? So in
and
order
the stuff is killing people, too, by the way. Thank God that I got that book. What's the name of it, George? About the homocysteine.
The heart solution?
The heart solution, right.
Exactly. Well, listen to this. You'll love this.
I got my homo level way down. Yes, Bob.
All right, you'll love this. The drug companies have to test on laboratory animals, rats, rabbits, mice, etc. But one slight problem, they don't have any cholesterol. So they have to feed them a cholesterol, you know, food with cholesterol in it to up the cholesterol so they can see whether or not the Zycor or the whoever works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you would think they feed them, what, butter, eggs, meat, whatever. You'll never guess what they feed them. Skim milk and sugar.
Yummy.
The same thing that the American Diabetes, the American Heart Association says that low-fat diet, you drink that skim milk, you know, it's okay to eat those sugar products and everything else. But by the way, we're feeding that to our laboratory animals
to fatten them up.
To fatten them up and increase their cholesterol.
Right.
So that just tells us about what they're
they don't care about protecting the public. It's all, like you said, it's all about money. I've always told the people that.
Totally about money. And
see, they're not making any money off of the wicked weed, so that's why it's illegal, and they got a whole industry going on about banning marijuana, but stuff that they can make a big buck off of, then it's okay.
Yeah, well, you know, we know that, and we know who has known about all this stuff for the past at least years that I've been listening to you, and that's our good friend Dr. Robert Adler.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you.
Okay, Bob.
Thank you.
And watch out for that ghee. It'll kill you. Stop eating those damn bars. Okay, see you. Here's Bob Lincoln. Love that, Bob Lincoln. Love those travel books. Come on, Bob, bring us a lot more travel books. I mean, those hotel books. Oh, if I got a headache after talking to him. No, he's all right. He's a good guy. He just got some crappy friends. Hey, how about those 2 trips to Vegas with Bob Lincoln, huh? See, now my head's just splitting.
When are we going again?
56705. You know, there are people who actually still ask me that. Oh, yeah, when are you going to put another one of those tours together to Vegas, Neil? No, we're not. Oh, you're not? No. We can get Rocky Renteria back on the phone again. We can get Steve Nickel and what's her name? David Sugarman's mother. What was her name? Susie Powder?
Gerard.
Susie Gerard. See, all the radio stations you work at, you discover that you think we get a few freebies, and we do, and believe me, why the hell not? Everybody else is. And you see the kind of incestuous crap that goes on. You see the way that some people just suck the lifeblood out of these places, not to mention my good friend Sam again and all his cronies in there. Oh, my God. Well, life is a trade-out. Life is just a big scam. And the reason we got so many schmucks running around here, so many putzes who know nothing about what the goddamn ball game is and what the odds are. Oh, that was what I mentioned off the air. I get in the car this morning. The first thing I hear on this station is the show, the gun show spot, which we just had on again, by the way. Had a hard time understanding it, by the way. And then I punch out for a minute or two. I punch back, and of course we're still in that long 12-minute break on the morning show on the worst team. And what's the next spot I hear? Here's that Kaplan's voice. Oh, well, the Jets are 9.5, and I immediately see another illegal gambling spot. Remember when we first started on this radio station? The only things that were on the air, basically, the only commercials were dog track spots and limp penis spots. Those were like 99% of the commercials on this station.
The offshore gambling spots.
Oh, yeah, gambling spots, limp penis spots, and, well, you know, dog track, gambling, you know, pari-mutuels, et cetera. That was it. That's all they had on this station. And here we are, a year and a half later, kicking gigantic ass. Can I get my Backstreet Boys ticket?
No.
Can I get a straight answer about anything around here?
No.
No. That's because I don't want to be part of Greg's fraternity. That's the problem. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir. Great.
2 things for you. One, I wanted to mention, why is it, and I wanted to call you yesterday, I didn't get a chance. Why is it that Mayor Penis is the person that represents both Dade, Broward counties when it's on TV?
Broward? What the hell's he got to do with Broward?
Because exactly.
We don't even let him cross the line into Broward County. He's not allowed in Broward.
Exactly.
He's an asshole.
I live in Broward, and every station is carrying his little press conference of what's happening and what's not happening, and yet all the damage is supposed to happen north, not
Well, let me ask you this. Speaking of Broward, I mean, not that I'm complaining because we do have that fascist sheriff who put the BS in the BS, Ken Jenny, but other than, and of course he was on there every 15 minutes opening up his big puss, but other than that, name me a politician in Broward County.
Well, that's very true.
Yeah, we don't have any leadership.
That's very true.
We have nothing. We got nobody. We got a few flunky Broward County commissioners, and that's it. We got nobody in Broward.
Unless it comes up to an arena deal, then there's a whole bunch of politicians.
Oh, yeah, right.
The second thing...
Always got their palms out there to see how much Crisco they can get on there, yes?
The second thing is when you brought up about the teeth cleaning, I agree. I mean, I feel so bad when I go to the dentist, and the hygienist says, you know, you got to do this, you got to clean up.
You know what? I'm not going to do it. You just talk me out of it.
Well, yeah, a week before, I'm doing all kinds of stuff, trying to keep my teeth clean. I'm thinking, hold it, I'm paying for this.
Yeah.
But
that's right. You got to eat like a bunch of Italian stuff, you know, spaghetti and meatballs and with a lot of oregano and crap in it.
I agree.
No, you talk me out of it. I'm going to have George call and cancel. I know it's very late. I'm supposed to be there at 3. They'll stick somebody else in there.
Of course.
I'll just post. I mean, eventually I'll have to go, but you have to be in the right mood to do it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Thanks, Pat.
And listen.
Yes, sir.
Neil, could I get the tickets?
Sure.
Great.
Well, listen, you did something for me.
I agree.
The least. Now, don't agree too much. Okay, hang on. He's on line 2. Give that guy those tickets and a Tony Roma's and some stuff. That's 1 out of the 2. No, he's right. He gave me the courage, and why the hell not do it myself? I'm not in the mood to get my teeth cleaned today. You got to be feeling a little masochistic. So when you get finished with him, I'm going to have you call up Dr. Gary.
Why?
Whatever his name is. I'll give you the name. Thanks, Carlos. Nice seeing you. Hey, listen, we're just going through the motions here, you know. as usual. By the way, did I say hello to my good friend Schvo Griffin yet today?
No.
She's a sweetheart. There's one of the nicest people I've ever worked in the same building with is my close personal dark-complected friend, Schvo Griffin, who's making a fortune off those goddamn psychic spots on Much Music and MTV and VH1 and all the other ones, and more power to her. God bless her. And my old friend Shirley Peters, who's getting fatter by the minute, but nevertheless. What's wrong with that psychic network? Not a damn thing wrong with it. And Castronova, we agree. Two things. Number one, he's jealous, and number two,
He's an asshole.
right. Got some nerve opening up a mouth and then making up stories. He saw me at the Sawgrass. Boy, you must be desperate, huh? Once the word got out that you were over here sucking around with everybody for a job here. Huh, Paul? You must have been real happy about that over there at Queer Channel. Dear, that Castronova's running around here sucking around with everybody looking for a goddamn show on a morning show as if we're going to put him on. Is there any chance?
No.
No. That's kind of like
Roy!
going over there to Waffen looking for a job on the air. Yeah, maybe they can have a hell of an award-winning sports line. They can put Mercury Morris on there, put him on for a while. And they can put
Roy!
And then they got already Mortestes Destrada, and they got that silly goofball Jim Berry, who's always so happy. Ah! That's because he hangs around with Angela Ray a lot. You know what I'm saying? Her, yeah, with a thing on her lip. I think that they're trying to get rid of that thing on her lip. By the way, it seems to be diminishing somewhat. Maybe Al Sunshine bitched her out for being on the air with a thing on her lip. I wouldn't be surprised if the next news anchor they bring in on 4. In their long line of desperate moves. Maybe it was somebody with a hair lip. At least it would bring some attention. Oh, by the way, did I just mention that I need to have you call because you were busy with that guy, my dentist? Do you know what his name is?
Yes. And say what to him?
And just say I have to cancel for it. I'm going to postpone it. I can't do it.
You will call and reschedule?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, don't let them give you a date. Don't let them suck you into that. Right. There's no emergency. My gums are. I was there a few months ago. It's got nothing to do with the money. In fact, I'll be glad to pay. I'll send him the money not to go. How do you like that? I'm just not in the mood to go get my mouth scrubbed today, at least not by her. 567-056. That means we can eat. How do you like that? Huh? What a great deal that is. Now we can eat. Now that I just saw Clarence stick his head in the door.
Right, probably was asking just that.
Was he really?
Yeah.
You have to be kidding me.
No.
I like Clarence. He's a good guy. Although,
lunch.
Yeah, he's a Jew. But seriously, one thing he does, I wish he was still standing there.
He's listening in the hall, I'm sure.
Not that I want to be critical, because I did criticize. I want to be constructive. See, one of the problems is we got a lot of young guys here who aspire to greater things, like our friend over there on the West Coast in Fort Myers, Corey Sabin, which we haven't had a spy report about him in a long time. Wonder if his hair grew back. You think so?
No.
But nobody gives anybody any advice here. Nobody gives him a lending hand. Like when JP was here, I constantly was trying to give him a lending hand, and he ran like a son of a bitch. Now, there was a Cuban that I could relate to, but nevertheless.
With his shirt on, though.
Yeah, walking furball. He was kind of like the Cuban Ron Jeremy, is what he said. But anyway, how come it is now, in the days when Ken Malden, I love Ken Malden, what a great guy he is. There is, between him and Schvo Griffin, I'd be hard-pressed to tell you my favorite. Two great guys. One Schwarzer, one Jew. But nevertheless, on the days when Ken is doing the updates at 2 o'clock, it's like you hear a little music, and there he is, and I'm Ken Malden, here's the stuff. But on the days when Clarence is doing the update at 2 o'clock, I mean, immediately, as soon as we finish with the idea here, Matt, 2 o'clock. Now, what does that mean? How do you spell Matt 2 o'clock? Is it like M-A, like Matt Dillon, Matt Damon? Is that what it's like?
Uh-huh.
Matt, 2 o'clock. Matt, like spastic. Don't be spastic, Clarence. At, A-T, not Matt. Matt, 2 o'clock. Like a kid we used to have on W Snooze years ago. His name was Glenn something or other. Alice Rantel had the hots for him, by the way. And he had this crazy girlfriend, Debbie, that used to break his sunglasses and do stuff on the air to get him upset while he was on the air. But at any rate, he used to say, Browerts. Here's the number in Dade, and here's the number in Browerts. Yeah. And he wasn't even a swish. I mean, it's not like he had I sure hope that Clarence didn't hear what I just said about Matt, 2 o'clock. Don't say that anymore, please. You do that. Listen to your tapes. When you do the updates at 2, at the end of my show, you'll say, Matt, 2 o'clock. Is he denying it again? He was in denial the other day about that hockey name.
No, he doesn't know. He's going to go listen to the tape.
Listen to the tape. Now, and you do it every time, so you can pick any tape. You always do that. I'm trying to...
He's going to pick yesterday's and go listen to it.
He didn't do yesterday. Ken Malden did yesterday. Yeah, listen to yesterday's tape. You won't hear it. There you go. Excellent thinking. It's 12:26 at 560 WQM. Are we getting lunch, by the way?
Yes.
I know that's why you came in.
Stopping him from ordering something.
What were you going to order?
That's what we're discussing right
now.
Who
are we getting today?
He's going through the menu folder.
How about our good close friend Brad over there at Tony's that was kind enough to help us out when everybody else was closed on Monday? Sounds good to me. Just the usual stuff, just a bunch of stuff. I love Tony's. Love all the people that bring us free food. But we love the free food people. Because we're radio people, we can't let Sam be the only freeloader in the building, and the nephew. 26 past noon at 560 WQM. You're
$1 million times for Neil Rogers. He's in his house.
all right.
Down through the strip joint, fat man go. Your dollar in the gutter of a tattooed hole.
All right.
He said, honey, got money for you. But when you take me back into the private room for a hand job,
Squirt, squirt.
hand job, that man gets hand job. Take your clothes off, gee, it's just. I'm gonna hold you down like a tuna fish. Picking up a big roll of his fat. And only by the smell can you tell where it's at. Hand job, hand job, hand job. That man gets hand job.
Oh!
The girls used to handle with big fat guys. She know how to make the ball men cry. Fat man takes to the shout and the howl. And leave the skid mark on the towel. Hand job, hand job, hand job. That man gets hand job.
All right. You know, Josh Friedman, I was just thinking about that. Not that that was done about him. Or Hank, by the way. Some people thought that that had something to do with the humper.
Hey, stupid!
No, not him. I dast not say who it was about. But at any rate, Josh Friedman, he's the only person I can think of that would get turned down by the hookers in Amsterdam in the red light district. Because, you know, they stand in the doorway, and then, you know, when business is slow at various times, they'll, like, crack the door open. Hey, mister, hi, how are you? You know, they'll try to, like, lure you to their den. And he'd be one of those people that would, like he did yesterday, stand there in the doorway, and they would say, no, sir. And they would pull the curtain immediately.
What if they charged by the pound?
Exactly. Yeah, in fact, he'd probably have a good time in England because he could pay in pounds. What a disgusting piece of pusillanimous pus. 600 pounds of crap. Like I said, we've got a real bizarre outfit here. Make no mistake about it. And if you think I'm exaggerating, here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how's everything?
Great.
Neil, regarding all this gun shooting and everything else, you know, a lot of I see these people, they congregate and they all pray and they go to the church thinking they're going to get their clearance of these things, and they don't end the things there. Half the time these things are done in the name of situations like that. They got to reevaluate their creed there and see where all this violence comes from.
Yeah, I sure like to find out a little bit more about this asshole that killed these people there last night who was bitching out the Baptists. I'd like to find out what kind of neurotic religionist this guy probably was.
Well, you know, and the fact, ironically, that it happened in a church
yeah.
during their practices and everything else.
During they were having a big prayer thing, a prayer in. They were praying it.
Were they praying physically at the time?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Is that?
They were singing. They were singing a hymn and a her.
Well, evidently they didn't get their sheltering there.
Evidently, God, like I said, God is very busy worried about making sure he gets Hurricane Cliff Lloyd up the East Coast to where most of the population is, so he can terrorize America again.
Or if these people would consider their source, they would see that this would hardly recognize as anything in God's book with all the millions he killed and all the people he had killed via his orders. That this is nothing.
Hey, wait till the locusts come in, man.
That's it.
Okay.
Neil, I'd like to, if you'd allow me to, switch the subject here for a second here regarding the ministers and the gay Catholics. I'm fed up with reading all these articles.
Gay priests?
There's no fact in the church. Yeah, that
Isn't
guy.
that redundant?
They call themselves New Ways and all these people.
They call themselves what?
The New Ways Foundation. They're a group of ex-Vatican or ex-kicked-out priests that are now, they're homosexuals openly.
Are they related to the Swiss Guard by any chance?
It's unbelievable. Rather than these people come to grips with who they are.
Come to grips with something, yeah.
And
besides altar
do
boys.
the research of the human biology of who they are. They want to hold on to their superstitions here for their comfort, and now they try to make the two mix And here they are. I don't know if you get, and I think I've heard you guys mention it before with the Freedom from Religion. I'm a member, and I get all these. Every month you get numerous crimes you can't count them, unspeakable things done by people using their headship and their pulpit as a minister or as a mechanism towards abusing all these people.
Yeah, like this
Unreal.
priest out there, Patrick O'Shea in San Francisco. That was one of my first stories I had this morning, who was accused of embezzling $252,000 from his church and molesting altar boys and other children.
Unbelievable. Venice, Florida.
Very believable.
$500,000 they had to pay for not only for one priest doing it, but as the kid went off to the other priest to get help, they spanked him and did it to him too. They all admitted to it and had to pay.
Well, get a good spanking, you'll straighten that kid out in a hurry.
And the Catholic Church says they regret this, but they're going to rehab him in their own little council.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
that
happened
good?
in Mexico.
If you and I did that, they'd hang us on the highest tree in the state.
Damn straight. Okay, God
Thanks,
bless you,
Neil.
sir.
Take
God
care.
bless you. I'll pray for you. 5670560. See, that's always a it's like saying, I'm so much better than you are, I'll pray for you. It's like the Baptists with the Jews, that dude. Oh, we're going to pray for you. Because we're so much better than you are. We got all the right answers. We got the right fairy tales. You just can't get it straight. So we'll pray for you. Talk about looking down your nose. Talk about condescending assholes. We're going to pray for you. Don't pray for me, okay? Pray for yourself, that maybe you get a brain someday. Then maybe you can emancipate your brain from the horrendous. See, I was watching those kids, as horrendous as the story is, no matter where it happened, in a Jewish place where it was a school or a church or whatever it is, it makes no difference. It's horrendous. These are human lives, young people. But I was watching that thing, and I was thinking again about the fact that here are these poor kids whose brains at this early age have been stolen. Just like Hitler said, baby, just like the Catholic Church says, get them when they're young. The Hitler Youth, that's when they start. Brainwash them starting when they're real young, and that's what the religionists do. Take away any possibility that they might think for themselves and realize what a bunch of crap it is.
How young is too young?
Exactly. Well, what are you reading that in? Is that in Newsweek? Newsweek? This man is sitting in there with more goddamn pornography, I'm telling you. Even the goddamn video store up the street hasn't got as much pornography as we
Sports
get.
guys really like this when I pass it along.
Oh, and they were speaking of that, whatever happened with what's his name from the Hurricanes? The guy that was in Abercrombie and Bitch catalog, which, by the way, we never got our freebies from Abercrombie and Bitch. But what the hell was his name? Jeff Popowich. You remember that day? And I was taking the thing around, and he's in there practically bare-ass naked, certainly the ass part. And they're like, holding up the wolfbane and the crucifix. And this is the Jewish kids back there. Jason especially. Oh, he's holding up all kinds of stuff to make sure he doesn't see it. Afraid he might like it. 21 before 1 at 560 WQAM. What do you know about most of those sports nerds? Most of them are a bunch of,
There's no fact in the church.
Recent court rulings concerning the sexual orientation of Scoutmasters has made it nearly impossible for the average parent to know what kind of scouting experience their son can expect. But one organization has arisen to make things perfectly clear. The Gay Scouts.
Okay, troops, time to set up camp. I've been pitching a tent for hours.
The Gay Scouts will teach your son the art of self-preservation in the wild.
Aw, man, this match won't light. How are we going to get this fire going?
That's okay. We can make our own body heat.
When your son joins the Gay Scouts, he'll hear late-night ghost stories.
And when the severed body was found, he was wearing a Donna Karan ensemble with clashing lapels that had been out of season since Labor Day.
Oh, that was the scariest thing I ever heard.
So if you want your son to bond with other like-minded young men, have him join the Gay Scouts today, where our motto is,
Be prepared to strut your stuff.
and I hear they all do get the soap on the rope. It's 16 till 1 at 560 WQM. God, this thing is moving along here pretty good today. Well, they're going to be upset when they find out I'm canceling my teeth cleaning today at Dr. Y. At my good, close personal friend, Dr. Gary.
Why?
But nevertheless, like I said, I'm just not in the mood for it. And thank you very much, sir. You deserve those Dolphin tickets and your freebies at Tony Roma's for planting that in my head. Blame him. No, he convinced me. I mean, so I'm not going to do it today. I'll do it some other goddamn day. I'm just not in a masochistic mood that I want somebody potching around in my mouth today. At least not her. 5670560. We still have that other pair of Dolphin tickets to give away, along with the dinner for two at Tony Roma's, thanks to our good, close personal friend Sam in there, who wants to spread, make it look like he's giving away a bunch of stuff, even though he's hoarding most of the freebies for himself and the nephew. What did I do with that thing, by the way? Not that it's all that important. I guess I shot canned it. Here's Sunny Isles. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Hey, what's the over and under on the number of killings in the hurricane?
142.
Yeah, can I get some dolphin tickets?
No.
All right.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. That was a no-brainer. Here's Miami Shores. Hello. Miami Shores.
Hey, what's up, Neil?
Yes, sir.
I agree with you with the gun laws, and they should be stricter, and that it's too late to just go ahead and ban them all. My only concern is, if you want the gun bad enough, and if the person gets denied by the strict laws, and they still want the gun, they can still go out and get it.
Oh, my God, it's Father Robert Ryan is on CNN. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
They can still get it. There's a lot of 15, 16-year-old wannabe gangsters in Miami
Right.
who have guns, and there's no way they were approved for it. There's no way whatever guidelines there are, they qualified for, but they still have them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's pawn shops all around the town, and I know because my friend has bought a gun from a pawn shop who didn't have to wait the 3-day period. So really, they should be stricter, and the laws should be there, set up.
But they're not, and they won't.
It's not going to change anything.
It's the American effing way, man.
Can I get the tickets?
George is giving me a look like, no, it's your decision, George. It's up to you.
Don't leave it up to me.
Are you Cuban?
No, I'm not. I'm Argentinian.
Oh, you're okay. You got him. Okay, give our Argentinian. Oh, wait a minute. Ask him if he knows any Nazis before we give him the tickets.
He might be one.
Ask him if he's got any beef with us. Nah, give him the tickets, okay? He sounds like a guy. You know, he's Argentinian. We love our Argentinian friends, our Colombian friends, Puerto Rican friends, the ones who aren't terrorists. Yeah, that's Bubba's new deal, okay? Never met a Puerto Rican terrorist that he didn't like. All of a sudden, he's starting to lose it, I'm telling you. See, they think that you get syphilis from too much sex. No, actually what happens is your mind turns to jello. If not enough sex, you start going like goofy. You start making sounds like... And that's what's happening to Bubba. WQAM. WQAM.
Yes, sir. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to speak to Neil.
Where are you calling from?
Miami.
You didn't want those tickets, did you?
No, I don't want the tickets.
Oh, good.
I was just letting a piece of advice. I mean, I think that these Cubans that are out here, me being half Cuban, are getting a false sense of security from the fact that they got a mayor like Alex Pinellas that gets on the TV every time he gets a chance.
Yeah.
And just, wanted to make that point because having relatives that get here, they place a phone call back to Cuba and let the rest know that, if they could get their butt on land, they're going to have somebody that's going to argue for them on national TV or local TV and, allow them for them to stay.
They're dreaming. Oh, in fact, the last time I checked, Mickey Arison wasn't Cuban,
Exactly.
That's his good buddy. Oh, it's funny you should mention that because we're going to take a poll now. What ethnic group would you like to have us bring in to replace the Cubans in South Florida?
What ethnic groups? I think Europeans.
Yeah, Europeans would be good. Maybe
I
some
lived in Italy for a little while, was in the service, and nice people, down to earth, you
right.
know. Just hang out, enjoy life. They don't work to live, they live to work.
Mm-hmm.
Opposite. We live kind of to work here, where they work to live and enjoy life a little bit more than here.
You got it.
I appreciate talking to you. First time talking to you, Neil.
All right, see you.
All right, have a good day.
Take care. Okay, there you go. There was a good guy. Picked him up cold because George was busy taking the information for our Argentinian friend who got the other pair of dolphin tickets. Do we have any more dolphin tickets to give away today? No. I make that very, very clear, okay? No more dolphin tickets. Oh, by the way, they got Greta Von Suster, and they got Father Robert Drynan is on there, one of the last great, and Alan Dushewitz.
We have Robert DeBoard, age 17, and he has been upgraded to fair condition. He had a gunshot wound to the chest. Justin Laird, age 16, remains in serious condition with a gunshot wound to the back. Jeff Laster, age 36, remains in serious condition with a gunshot wound to the abdomen. And we did have Mary Beth Talley, age 17, who was treated and released.
Every few days, here's another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, and the people see this, and they all kind of blend into each other, and like, oh, yeah, well, that's too bad, So what's for dinner tonight? No, seriously, they've been so totally desensitized. There is nothing that could happen now that would shock the American people. Nothing. They could televise today's Senate, all the Senate hearings, and all the senators could be under stark naked, and it would be disgusting and grotesque. But nevertheless, would it shock anybody?
No.
No.
Maybe the AC went out there up in D.C., huh? That must have been the problem. Got to cool off somehow. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Neil?
Can barely hear you. Have you got a crappy phone or something?
Hello?
There you go.
Oh, Nigger Neil God.
Yes, sir.
Hey. Yeah.
Neil God!
That's me.
First of all, I don't want Dolphins tickets. I was
Good.
going to say that. I know they're gone already, but I was going to say
Well,
that.
I'm glad you said that. That makes me feel much better.
And did you say you're getting your teeth cleaned today?
No, I'm not.
Why not? My dental hygienist is great.
Yeah. No, my dental hygienist is good too, but I have to feel a little bit masochistic. They like to, they like to inflict a little bit.
Well, not only is she great, I mean, she's very pretty and she has great hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it when she kind of hovers over my face,
Uh-huh.
But now they have to wear all that protective stuff.
Puts a little something extra in your puss to,
Well, now they have to wear all
clean
that
up those
protective
gums.
stuff. Like she looks like a welder now. She has a big mask on.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't even
That's
see her
right.
face
The
anymore.
gloves and a mask and the other. You're right.
It's unbelievable, but it's still nice. She's very gentle, and she's like I said, she's good.
Maybe
with her
she can
hands.
be on the next space shuttle.
Hey, did you see about Stevie Eiserman?
Yes, 3 more years. Too bad about Stevie Eiserman. He's too small to be a great player.
Boy, he's the best.
That's what a brilliant general manager once told me. He says, too bad about Stevie Y. He's too small.
Stevie Y, God.
Yes, sir.
See you, buddy.
All right. By the way, Stevie Y still looks pretty good to me. He's about 110 years old. He still looks good. He never changes. He still looks great to me. Let's all get our naked Stevie Y pictures. Now we're talking.
Oh!
Man. See, it's one thing about hockey. I know that this comes as a great shock to you, but because most of the players are white. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. And also because they don't have no 300-pound guys in there like the NFL, those big tubs of crap that are supposedly athletes, the linemen, big tubs of lard. No, in hockey, they've all got to be trim and slim and hard. I mean, smooth. Which brings to mind, by the way, wanted to thank so much my good close personal friend Alan or Alvin or whatever his name is down there in the Keys, my attorney friend. What is his name? Alan. Nice Jewish boy. Who sends me a copy of a book by Laura Robinson called, it's a paperback, Crossing the Line, Violence and Sexual Assault in Canada's National Sport. I think only outdone by the Catholic Church and the priesthood is the amount of child molestation that goes on in hockey up there in Canada. It's cold, it's lonely. They got to have somebody to cozy up to. And then, of course, they might even have the story in there about the marshmallow and the rectum.
Rectum?
Here's Loxahatchee. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, first time, long time.
All right.
I just got done reading that whole shooting at the Fort Worth Church and the Palm Beach Post here.
Yes, sir.
And, I used to really believe that people kill people, guns don't kill people,
Oh, yeah.
but guns are making it way too easy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even know, man. I guess you were right with saying that nothing really shocks the American public
You don't
anymore.
see too many
Nothing
people
really
getting killed with teaspoons, you know what?
Right?
Or with forks.
I know, no kidding. You couldn't do that with a sword or anything, I tell you.
Right. Only on guiding light.
No kidding. It's like, I don't know, it's everyone's in such la-la land down here because they're just, nothing matters.
It's not
to
just
them.
down here. It's the whole country. This isn't even an important issue. After this whole series of all these mass shootings, and most of the people still don't give a crap.
Nope. that's
Because they're
true.
conditioned to it. Like I said, they're conditioned to accept violence. They believe that this is the way life has to be. And so they say, okay, just leave us alone if you can, and what's for dinner?
And that's the American effing way.
Right, exactly.
No kidding. It's also the government, too, has a real kind of Band-Aid approach to all these problems, too.
Mhm.
Patch it up, nobody complains.
Yeah,
you
just
know.
pacify everybody and make sure that the big money interests to really keep pacified, because those are the important ones.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. You know how much money people make selling guns? I mean, come on.
Billions.
Yeah, same thing with alcohol and cigarettes.
Yeah. Okay, pal.
Yeah, thank you, Neil.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Yeah, see, alcohol and cigarettes, they're bad for us. Is the government going to ban them?
No.
No. Of course not. They were subsidizing the tobacco growers until, what, about 5 minutes ago? But if you're growing that wicked weed in the backyard, then your ass is going to jail.
Yeah, man.
That's right. If you're growing a product that we know kills people with cancer, with lung cancer, with emphysema, deader than crap, we don't care about that. We'll give you, we'll make the pretense that we're going to give you kind of a hard time. We'll make it look good. But that's okay. It's still legal. It'll always be legal. But if you're growing that wicked weed in the backyard, or God forbid, in possession of a little bit, or even much worse than that, selling a little bit of it, then come on down to Miami International. That's what I say. Oh, and by the way, the Jimmy Johnson thing, there's a great line in that story. It's the second story in a 10-part series, which is good because he ripped the hell out of American Airlines.
Oh!
Always like that JJ, baby.
He says, I was up in the cabin talking to the pilot, and we're talking about the airports being closed, and he said, the airports aren't closed, Johnson said, so I asked him why we couldn't land, and he said, American Airlines sent everybody home, which is why they had to go over to Fort Myers instead and take the bus over here and divert and pervert and do all of that crap and get him all bent out of shape. And by the way, their next road game is October 10th in Indianapolis. Guess what airline they're flying? American. Because they got you by the short hairs. You can scream and get pissed off like we all do, but tough luck. And they know it, and they don't care. That's the you know what it's like? It's like this place. They don't care. You can cuss them out, and you can bitch them out, and you can be 500% right. And you know something? They don't care. They just look at you and laugh, and they go, yeah, and they just keep doing the same crap they've always done. They don't give a crap. How do you like that? American Airlines, they had to send the employees home because it's not a good idea to leave all the drugs there when there's a goddamn hurricane thing. You might have some security people coming through there. Not a good idea. You got to take it home. Plus, like I said, you have to have a day to take home all the goddamn loose luggage that was left laying around so you can go shopping. There's Alan Dushowitz.
Access to weapons of mass destruction.
I never met a publicity opportunity that he didn't like. That's what we're going to do one day. We'll take a poll on the biggest publicity hounds in the world. I mean, some of these, him and that Jerry Spence, there's another one. Every time you turn around, he's on with a silly cowboy outfit on, saying nothing, saying absolutely nothing, talking glittering crap. 4 minutes before 1 at 560 WQM. Next time.
All right. Oh, boy. It's the 1 to 2 hour.
Hello, this is Bob Dole. You know, a few years ago I had prostate surgery. Initially, I was worried simply about recovering. Then I began to worry about the post-operative side effects like erectile dysfunction, ED, sometimes known as impotence, also referred to as whiskey wiener, leg of limp, soft serve, down periscope, wobbly willy, flaccid flagpole, heading south, spaghetti syndrome, limp biscuit, you know, ding dong, the witch is dead. But there is help. You need to see a doctor. With a little courage and proper treatment, he can help you achieve an erection, sometimes known as a boner, often referred to as a stiffy, hard time, pocket rocket, granite gumdrop, concrete crawler, roll of quarters, a chubby, pitching a tent, or being harder than Chinese algebra. And when you do get help, there's no reason to be ashamed, because there's now hope for men and their partners. Hope that they'll soon be able to have intercourse, sometimes known as sex, often referred to as the Humpty Dance, bumping uglies, hiding the salami, splitting the uprights, the tube steak boogie, getting some on you, mashing nads, you know, taking a trip to the mound. So remember, it's a little embarrassing to talk about, but with a little courage and a few creative euphemisms, you too can leave behind the soft rock, get yourself some hard salami, and ride the baloney pony into a bright new future. I'm Bob Dole. Thank you.
And guess what? If you're married to Liddy Dole, it still won't help. 102 at 560 WQM, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. How about them Cowboys?
Oh!
Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Great.
This is I'm calling you from University of Miami. I'm a freshman here.
I'm so sorry.
Thanks. And I just want to call and comment about that crazy maniac who shot all those kids in church.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we can't be safe anywhere here. You know, thank God that I have good grades and I'm getting the hell out of here and going to Paris next semester.
Good for you.
But, you know...
Get out of that UM, man, before they turn your brains to jello.
Next thing I know, you know, I'm going to one day be taking a crap or making love to somebody, and then here comes some crazy maniac and about to shoot me just because they're having a bad day.
That's right.
I mean,
we're living... Maybe because the stock market went down.
We're living in hell, Neil.
In fact,
anyway,
wait a minute, let me take a look at CNBC, because I think it was looking pretty bad. 116 points down. NASDAQ's down 43. There you go again.
We'll probably have 2 or 3 more shootings today then.
Wouldn't surprise me.
All right, Neil. Take care, man.
Okay. See ya. And don't forget, by the way.
The hurricane fucking blow.
How's Jeff Popowitz doing, by the way? Boy, I sure wonder about that. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Jeff, who's that he's talking about? See, all you big, team wins a game or two and right away, oh, they got the banners out again and they're starting to put some asses in the seats. These people are so full of crap. It's not just, it's football, it's hockey, it's basketball, it's every sport that's ever, anything else. You name it. They should just change the name of the whole part of the state to just Oblivious USA. Because no matter what the topic is, they're oblivious. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hi.
Yes,
one
sir.
time, second time.
All right.
I spoke to you about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Actually, I didn't speak to you. I listened to the show, and you were talking about the Italian restaurant down in Fort Lauderdale, Gigi's, that they were no longer around. They have a freestanding building just north of Commercial on 441.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and they are really, really good.
The same ones from the old days when they used to be right there by Pier 66 and in Maikai?
I am quite sure of it because there's nothing else that tastes like it. I mean, it was really, really
Oh, that was a sensational place.
Yeah.
It's on 441 north of Commercial?
Just north of Commercial on the west side road, just before the Red Lobster there. On the east side of the road, excuse me.
Boy, when you stop and think about all the great places that used to be, you know?
Yeah, that place was great. Also, Alan Dershowitz, he's looking more and more like Larry from the Three Stooges, don't you think?
I think it's looking more like Larry from
Only $50.
from that show.
There you go. Also,
Them suspenders, I think.
last and final thing. I know your tickets are gone, which is fine, but I got to tell you, the best games I've ever been to in pro ball, whether it be football, baseball, doesn't matter, have been the free tickets that I have been given by friends. The most recent one, I went to see the Phillies play. My son got sick. I was supposed to take him to see the game, and ended up taking my little 4.5-year-old daughter, and we stayed the whole game. She just wanted this thing to take me out to the ball game. She was so patient, but the innings were going so fast because, of course, they're getting blown out. The very next to last pitch, a fly ball comes, guess to who? To me. It goes off my hands into the seat right next to my daughter. She picks it up.
All right.
She's happy, and now she thinks that's the way it goes.
Great.
Anyway, I'm out of material.
That's the only way we can make any Marlins fans. Okay, thank you. How about if we just give free baseballs to everybody comes in, huh? A couple hundred balls. 5670560 pound 5. It's like the Copa. Free balls for everybody, baby. Oh, don't say the Copa. Here's a lady in Cooper City. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. I think that too many tragic events are happening, obviously, in the schools and the homes, and because of guns. And I just wish that proponents of gun control would just stop mentioning their constitutional baloney of the Brady Act and everything, because the Constitution was written in 1787. And first of all, there was no television then, and there was no media glorifying the violence. So that whole thing was not an issue.
There was no Jerry Springer show either.
Right, exactly. So since the times have changed tremendously, maybe they should just, change the Constitution or just ban, all guns altogether.
I heard a rumor that they're going to take away the Second Amendment. I think it's going to happen this next congressional session. They're going to repeal the Second Amendment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And now they invented the safety locks on guns, which is another excuse for them to keep the guns on the street. And, all they do is blame the families for not having values. And as a teacher, I'm scared to go teach in school.
I don't blame you.
I don't know whether I'm going to live or die. Then,
Used to go to the airport, there were no metal detectors. Used to go to school, no metal detectors. Now America has become so, we just accept it. Everywhere you go, let's have metal detectors just in case there's guns and bombs, and maybe American Airlines has got a few more hand grenades in the overhead.
Absolutely. And also, their whole information, I don't know where they get it from, but it's not even credible. It's not factual, and it's not reliable, so I don't know where they get it from. They're saying that, kids die more of inhalation of oxidants or whatever it is. And that's so, I'm sorry, it's a bunch of baloney. So.
Okay, I'll see you in the valley, girl. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line, 8 minutes after 1 at QAM. Let me ask you, is Dave Garraway still dead? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. And Jack Lasculi, is he still dead?
No.
Yes, he is. How about Larry King? Is he still dead? Does he still owe people all that money? Here's a mobile in Cutler Ridge. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How about Big Wilson? Is he still dead?
Last time I checked.
Yeah. Neil, did you see Al Sunshine on the news on Tuesday at all during the hurricane coverage?
Did I see him? I did a whole show on it yesterday.
I'm sorry, my radio, my on and off.
I did a whole show bitching him out because he's an asshole. He is the most disgusting piece of pud-whacking puke in the history of mankind. Going there and bitching these people out.
I know.
Have the audacity to open up their business to the desperate public on a day when the sun was shining and there was no problem at all. And he's in there pontificating and cussing them out, and he should have had his ass fired.
I agree. I'm sorry I didn't get to hear all that. Can I sing a song about him real quick?
Go ahead.
Real short. It's sung to the tune of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah.
Stick her where the sun don't, stick her where the sun don't, stick her where the sun don't shine, Al Sunshine, stick her where the sun don't, stick her where the sun don't, stick her where the sun don't shine, Al Sunshine. Shame on you. I'm out of material.
Oh, all right. Not bad. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. That didn't interfere too badly. The Dolphin tickets did it, even though we got a couple of lines open now, which we had the phones just smoking all morning long, and then we gave away some Dolphin tickets. And I think we were right on the verge, by the way, of solving all the social ills of America. We were right on the edge of it. We were right on the edge of uncovering the world's largest closet, the Catholic Church. Right on the edge of solving the gun problem, getting all these gun nuts straightened out. Right on the verge of getting that hurricane to just drift off to sea and leave everybody the hell alone up there and stop at all the rain and the other punishment that God is inflicting on everybody. See, all the God squad out there, the crazy God people, why does he do these things? Why does he do these things? Because there can't be hurricanes, there can't be tornadoes. Even if you accept kind of a combination of God and nature, you can't have one without the other. Nature, if there's a God, then nature doesn't do these things unless God instructed it and taught it how to do it and invented it. You can't just be selective and say, oh, like the guy that called earlier said, remember, wanted me to talk about the good things from religion. And I thought, and I went, yeah, when's that going to start? Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
Neil, I wanted to make a trade-off with you. I was going to bring you lunch from Maydays tomorrow for Dolphins tickets.
No.
So, sorry I couldn't do that, but if...
we can get lunch from Maydays any day for free.
Well, yeah, it's my dad that owns it.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I just want to say...
Because you like the free plugs. And we like the food.
We love you too, Neil.
I know it.
I just wanted to say...
those jalapeno peppers.
Yeah, I heard they were tearing the you-know-what out of you.
They did. They're great.
The problem is with the Second Amendment is, even though it was, a different time with different people and whatnot, you got to think about the guns they had back then. They didn't have, 9mm semi-automatic.
And almost nobody had guns back then. It was very rare a person you'd find that had any guns in their possession.
Yeah, but even the guns they had were like long-range rifles that took them 5 minutes to load. So if you got pissed off at somebody and wanted to shoot them, it took you 5 minutes. By the time you loaded your gun, the person was either gone or you completely forgot about what you were mad about, Nowadays, the only thing, you can just load a gun in less than a second and just blow away 20 people without even blinking. And that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
May I call someone a douchebag?
That's what Monica Lewinsky said, yes?
John Roberts, you're a douchebag.
Okay. See ya. Love that Maydays up there in North Perry Airport with that great food, which we get for free because they love us and we love them, like you said. And we love your dad. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Got a few open lines. Don't forget, we got the Marlins and the Giants this afternoon. That'll be a dead tune-out. I mean, this station, we might as well shut it off. Put on the NOAA weather radio. Marlins at the Giants, pregame 3:30. And then after the game, we join the, in progress, the Panthers' first exhibitionist game of the season against the Nashville Predators at Knoxville, Tennessee, with the amazing Jiggs McDonald. Anybody out there ever hear Jiggs?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Speaks for itself. At least you'll have a guy describing the game anyway, which is something you never had on this station before in a hockey game. You'll have a guy describing the game. He is old and fuddy-duddy and kind of a, old hack, but nevertheless he'll be a tremendous improvement. Even guys like Paul Harvey Jr., that thank God we haven't heard from in a long time, will understand like what a real hockey announcer does, which is called describe the game, and not try to be a sit-down comedian like the jackass we had on there before for 6 years. Who used to do the show, by the way, in midday and had numbers you couldn't see with the Mount Palomar telescope, in spite of the fact that Barry Jackass loved them because he used to put on those dumb press conferences. Let me, while I'm getting worked up about this, let me just again comment on asshole athletes having press conferences. And it's all because of television. It's all because they got all these hours to fill up on CNN SI and on ESPN 1, 2, and 3 and the douche and they got all this time to fill up, so every time somebody farts, we got to have the athlete sit down there at a table with a microphone in front, and we have to have some stupid press conference. Was it Jennifer Capriati, the one that was carrying on the other day, and they had her in tears again? Well, first of all, honey, if you don't want to get a grilling, tell me you're not going to do a press conference, you stupid bitch. What the hell's wrong with you?
Hey, dude, Jennifer Capriati here. And when I'm not slapping balls on the court, I'm getting stoned off my ass. And I get my best hits off the Jennifer Capriati tennis ball can bomb.
That's right, it's the Jennifer Capriati tennis ball can bomb. Cops will never suspect this innocent-looking cat. Just empty the ball, screw on the bowl, fill it with water, and you're set to destroy brain cells. The Jennifer Capriati way.
Oh, this is so smooth.
It's the bong that thinks it's a tennis ball can. The tennis ball can that thinks it's a bong. Proceeds benefit the Jennifer Capriati Legal Defense Fund. Normal approved.
Yeah, and she's breaking down in tears. Oh, I can't get across here. I don't want to talk about this anymore. And she gets up, and you hear in the back, thank you, Jennifer, as she's storming out. Pathetic. And the people that watch that stuff, they're even more pathetic. Or did I see it? 567. Oh, how the hell can you help see it? They show it 600 times there on goddamn CNN. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. 200 open lines now all of a sudden. Let's pretend we got some more Dolphin tickets to give away, huh?
Uh-huh.
Here's a mobile in Miami Lakes. Hello.
Hey, Neil, what's up?
How you doing, sir?
Hey, with all the shootings, they should outlaw guns, man. Should be outlawed.
Yeah.
And with all the people that of age, they should outlaw homosexuality.
Yeah, great. Another one. There you go. Another one of your people. Same old tired homophobia. The same old tired one-note Johnny. Like I said before, what ethnic group can we get in here when we ship all the Cubans back where they came from? Except a few that look pretty good. 567-0560. God, are you old and tired and ponderous, man? It just wears you out. Doesn't wear me out because I get paid one way or the other. Wears the world out. Listening to your tired terminal crap. Maricón, 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 bugarrón, pajarito. Same old crap. As predictable as the weather in Nome, Alaska, man. Let's bring in some goddamn, like I said, some Middle Eastern people. Not too many Arabs, though. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Okay.
It's pretty sad. Like, I'm looking at the Herald here, and, like, Floyd's got the main headline here, and on the side it shows the 8 people in Texas dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah, like an afterthought. Like, we can't be bothered with that. It's only 8.
Yeah, and another thing is, you know all the hysteria that the weather guys put on everybody down here to be prepared for the storm and whatnot. Don't you think that people aren't going to take them so seriously this time if this other storm comes through?
I don't know what you mean by that. Well, what do you mean by hysteria? The thing was gigantic. It was almost a Category 5.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know how...
Another 50 miles to the west, and we'd have gotten a gigantic blowjob, man. That's right.
All right, Neil.
Okay, have a great day. No, I mean, Monday, like I said, they did a great job. And then Tuesday, once they could have all gone home and they could have given us a chance to live our lives in peace, that's when they started making assholes out of themselves, including the mayor and the governor and all the others. And, of course, the fascist up there, the man who put the BS in the BS in Broward. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Sunrise. Hello. Mobile in Sunrise.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
Hey, Neil, this is my first time calling, but I'd like to say something on the 3-day cooling off period.
Mm-hmm.
Last Thursday, I had a confrontation with 2 guys in the bar, and they kind of beat me up. I was so angry that I drove down to a gun shop right down the road in Sunrise, and I bought a gun, but they wouldn't give it to me right then and there. They wouldn't give it to me right then. I had to wait for the 3-day cooling off period, and that was during the hurricane. Now I cooled off. I don't want to kill anyone, so I think that's a good law.
That is a great law. Well, thank God you cooled off. Probably the hurricane cooled you off a little bit.
Thanks, Neil. Have a good day,
pal.
guys.
Okay, bottoms up. See, how do you like that? That Schwarzer there, he cooled off a little bit, and thank God they wouldn't sell no goddamn ammunition. Yeah, let's sell a bunch of guns. Let's just stop selling ammunition. There you go. Hey, you know something? Just dawned on me. There's nothing in the Second Amendment that says that you can buy ammunition. The right to bear arms and legs, but not no ammunition. Brilliant. Excellent idea. That's going to be the new approach, okay? You can buy all the weapons you want, no more ammo. Of course, what do you need ammo for when we got all those goddamn hand grenades on American Airlines and the overheads? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
This whole thing on gun control, you know why people got to carry guns?
Yeah.
They're a little insecure in their manhood.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing on religion, George Carlin put it the best. We're all supposed to believe in a little invisible man.
Okay, thank you. You sure that's what he said? You think that's what George Carlin said?
No.
No. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, I got a question for you on religion.
Yeah.
I, too, have my doubts about the life after death. And
No, I don't have any doubts.
Yeah, well, you can say that those people in Texas that were shot, that was God's plan for them if you're a true believer. But the question I have about all this...
Nice plan, by the way.
Yeah, really.
Just like he sent his son to be nailed up on a cross.
Yeah, it's like, why did God take out the Bahamas and not Orlando? But along the same lines...
Maybe because Orlando looks better. But anyway.
That's a little Mickey Mouse.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, God, Neil. The question is that how does, the supernatural phenomena fit all into this? This is what I'm wrestling with. I certainly think that
Sir, the answer is always the same. Don't question the Lord. He works in mysterious ways. Isn't that a nice catch-all?
No, but I don't believe that,
But that's always the answer.
Yeah, but, there's got to be something more to it. And that's the only thing that separates me from being an agnostic and an atheist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so when I can come up with a logical, reasonable explanation for that, because if...
An explanation for what?
Well, the ghosts, the visions, the supernatural, the X-Files, if you will.
The X-Files?
Well, the X-File-ish events. The supernatural, the unexplainable.
Like what?
Well, like
people... Little green men on the moon?
Not quite that far out. But, fairly well documented visions of people...
Sugar plums there in our head. Okay, God bless you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Oh, my God. He must be watching that Psychic Network too much. Like I said, 5-6, and we're giving the number for the tarot card reader, too, while we're at it. 567-0560. You got 400 open lines here all of a sudden. God, I wish we had more Dolphin tickets to give away. Not. And pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. 126 at QAM. Let me
WIOD. Oh, I hate that station.
One in the air. The news with one in the air. One in the air. The news with one in the air. Yo soy Julio Iglesias. Estoy el hombre con las noticias. Tienes preguntas ahora. I'll gladly tell you some more, because I'm one in the air, the news with one in the air, not Yogi Berra. My name is Juan in the air, one in the air. The news with one in the air.
I guess Juan, when he left Channel 7 to hook up there with the Mayor Pinga, I guess he thought he was like hooking on with a real rising star, a big superstar who was going to move way up there in the political world. The only song that comes to mind, remember, You Old Farts Like Me, that song by Perry Como years ago, Catch a Falling Star? That's what you did, Juan. You caught a big bomba. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Where's lunch, by the way? Well, it'll be great. They'll come here just in time. We can enjoy it in peace when the show's over. And listen to Hank with Dino Cook. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You brought up a real interesting topic today.
Yes, I did.
With respect to, forget about the guns and everything else like that. That's a given, and anybody anybody who's sane would realize that that's a problem. But you brought up the point of who's going to be the leaders. You said in Broward County there is no leadership. You're correct. But who would want to be a leader? If you're an intelligent person and you've lived your life, undoubtedly you have some sort of skeletons in your closet of one type or another. You've done something that the phony balonies in this world are gonna be able to hold up and say, see, you did this, you did that, you did the other thing.
Yeah, but that's just a new excuse. I mean, even years ago, look at all the dumb people we've had. We had Gerald Ford was the president. We had Jimmy Carter. We've had some of the most mediocre, pathetic, tragic losers. Where do we find these people?
Well, I don't know, but I mean, you sit around. Well, I look at you. Look at you, for example. You could, not that you would want to. Why would you want to be a leader in this community? You're a leader in this community. Well, you are ex post facto or whatever, blah blah blah.
No.
Because people listen to you, and this is a public forum, and you state things that.
It's a radio show. It's an entertainment show. I'm not some kind of a leader.
Well,
I can't even get people to call a show. I'm going to lead them into out of the wilderness. I can't make these people do anything.
Well, that's neither here nor there. But you're a person of intelligence, and you're somebody that you understand the way things are in this world.
Yeah.
And the thought of becoming a politician or having some
nauseating, ridiculous.
It's abhorrent to anybody that doesn't want to stand up there and pull down their pants and show their privates to the world and say mine is bigger than yours, and that it's ridiculous when you look at the people that are running for the president now, and you take that down to Broward. Take it down to Broward County, and you look at people that are in power here, guys or people who were in power like Lamello or Abramowitz or any of these guys here. They're all a bunch of pompous little Napoleons, and they're all running around with their own personal agendas, and people that generally have something good that can contribute. Well, they're busy running their lives or making a living or contributing to their family and friends, or maybe even involved in charity or something like that. But where's the answer going to come from?
It's not. Okay, thanks for the hopeless thing. 5670560 pound 560 on the 18. I mean, are we looking to solve the problems of the world here today?
No.
No, we're just talking out loud, like they did on Whammy. Out loud. That's what we're doing. By the way, so who's going to replace the Cubans? How about the Chinese? Like I've said many times before, love the Chinese people. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
How you doing?
Okay.
Listen, I want to change the topic for just a minute. I read in the Herald today that Penn State is offering now their ice cream by mail. And I guess it's Penn State University is now delivering ice cream by mail.
Yeah.
And it's $74.50 a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand who's going to buy that. It can't possibly be as good as fish food.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Neil, bye.
5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I'm so lucky that I don't have important things like that to be concerned with and worried about, you know what? They just killed 8 people at a goddamn church in Fort Worth, Texas last night, and this woman is worried about Penn State is shipping out their ice cream. I think that call answered most of the questions that we've been raising here today.
What kind of flavors are they offering?
Probably like the uniforms of their football team. Bland. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Bal Harbor. Hello. Mobile in Bal Harbor.
Oh, yeah, this is me. How are you?
Yes, sir.
I'm originally from Venezuela in South America, but I live here in the Aventura area.
See?
I was listening to your radio show a few minutes ago, where there was a gentleman who said that he was caught in a fight or something, and he wanted to kill these people. I just want to congratulate him if by chance he's on the air. And also, I would like to make a comment.
Congratulate him for what?
For not, well, not congratulate him. Congratulate the law that says that 3 days to purchase ammunition or guns or whatever. If he wasn't, he cooled off about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a very mature thing to do. And when I wanted to make another comment.
It wasn't a mature thing to do. I mean, he didn't have any choice. They wouldn't sell it to him. They wouldn't give it to him for 3 days. It wasn't a mature thing. He was admitting that if they would have sold it to him, he would have gone back and blown somebody's crap away, is what he said.
No, I'm sorry about saying that, but I'm not talking about the person. I'm talking about the whole idea.
The waiting period, yeah.
The waiting period. I think that's very good. In Venezuela, we don't have that, and that's what I was trying to tell the difference between that. Plus there is no type of gun outlaw. Anybody can buy a gun, and anybody can use it at the same time or the same day that they purchase it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what caught my attention to hear that, because I think that's very good, and I congratulate the person who made the law.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Of course, he's talking about Venezuela, which, as we know, is a 10th world country. 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line, 22 till 2 at QAM.
Firefighters remain perched high on these long ladders, hoses in hand.
All right.
He categorically denied he ever sorted a line of cocaine. He says that it's not true. that he ever used cocaine. Georgie lies when he denies that he tried cocaine. What the Republicans say in an attempt to save his campaign is that he's pure as a saint and he would never play with cocaine. Georgie lies when he denies that he tried cocaine.
143 at 560 WQM. There's Bubba. Stability. We must be sending some of our troops into East Timor into this peacekeeping thing. That's what this thing is all about.
Last night,
yeah, that's what it's about.
In the Wedgwood Baptist Church in Fort Worth,
little laryngitis
during a
there,
prayer
Bubba.
service for teenagers.
Something in his throat.
A gunman killed 7 worshipers, wounded 7 others, and killed himself. Yet again, we have seen a sanctuary violated by gun violence, taking children brimming with faith and promise and hope.
Outrageous.
Before their time.
Yeah.
Our nation's support and prayers are with the families of the victims, those still suffering in the hospital, and the entire Fort Worth community. Federal law enforcement officials are now working with state officials and local authorities to find all the answers. But we know we have to redouble our efforts to protect our children. We know we have to act as if it were our own children being targeted by gun violence.
Yeah.
We know that there is nothing we can do to assure that this will never happen, but there is a lot more we can do to assure that it will happen more rarely. And I can only hope that the shock of this event will spur that kind of action. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, that's it. A little laryngitis there. It kind of like takes the, you know what I'm saying, the impact out of it, the oomph. Was there any oomph in the first place? No, not really. 8 million open lines here, baby. Look at this. This guy's giving me a song to dance before. That's why I have to laugh at my tremendous power, and I'm a leader, and I'm this, and I got one call on the board. Got a quarter of an hour to kill here yet today, and I got one call on the board. That's the great motivator I am in this dead-ass town. 5670560 and pound 560. Probably everybody that was on the phone got off so they could call up Penn State and order that ice cream for $74.50 a pint or whatever the hell it was. Here's a mobile in Fort Myers. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Great.
And I always worked for myself, self-employed and all this, most of my adult life. So I think for myself, basically. And you know what getting slain in the spirit is, correct?
What is?
When you get slain in the spirit, when you see these people falling down from a touch of the Lord and all this stuff. Well, I never really believed in that. But this minister came to our church, and he was teaching the youth. A lot of these youths were falling down, and I was just up there catching them. And next thing you know, tears come out of my eyes a little bit because I really loved what this man was doing for these kids. Some of them are on drugs and whatever. But anyway, he came over to me and touched my cheeks with his hand.
He touched your cheeks?
Yeah, my
rectum.
On my face.
Oh, I see.
And believe it or not, I went right down. I mean, I couldn't believe it that I fell down.
Yeah.
And like I said,
I can't either.
It never happened to me, and it's supposed to be a word from the Lord.
Yeah, word.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't understand it either because I'm basically new to this. I've only been going to church for about 3 years.
Yeah, word.
But it happened, and it makes me believe a hell of a lot more now. Yeah, what made me fall down?
You're asking me?
You there?
I'm here.
I lost you for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I had no idea what happened, but...
yeah. Okay, well, God bless you, sir. You're over there in Fort Myers, so it goes to show you that he works in mysterious ways. How do you like that? He just all falls down.
Proves it to me.
Yeah, proves it to me. What made it happen? Some of one of these deals, like prove it didn't happen. He just said it happened. You prove it didn't happen, Mr. Cynic. Cynic Spick.
Somebody pushed me down.
Prove we don't have 40 million Cubans here in South Florida. Just prove it right now. Time's up. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. There's a guy, he got the spirit, baby. They put the old hands on. I kind of like that, the old hands on. Don't most of you guys like the old hands on?
Uh-huh.
That's right. What's wrong with a little hands-on action? Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil, how you doing today?
Great.
Good, good. I've already told my grandmother to stay away from the church. You know, she goes there 4 times a week, 5 times a week. She's out of her mind.
Yeah.
I just tell her to keep away. Now, after yesterday, it's ridiculous, you know? It's just, there's no end to it. There'll never be an end to it. It's crazy. That's all I really wanted to say.
Okay, thanks for the good news. A lot of good uplifting calls here today. Oh, it's hopeless. It's kind of like the sky is falling. The things we were doing on Monday here. When we really thought that maybe the sky was falling. Remember that? Those are good days?
Uh-huh.
And then we found out nothing was going on. And so that's why we had to kill all day Tuesday with a bunch of hyperventilating assholes and a bunch of self-aggrandizing politicians and a jackass with big ham hocks named Al Sunshine on Channel 4, whom we all hate like poison.
He's an asshole.
Amen. And that's a compliment, by the way, Al. That's a compliment in your case. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hi, Neil. Pig Report, Pines Boulevard, east of I-75. They're waiting for everyone there, and I think they're roasting a pig. It looks like Al Sunshine, though, so could be mistaken.
Okay, thanks for the good news.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
In fact, if they are roasting Al Sunshine, I'll come by to help out. I'll come by and work on the spit. That's right. Nothing like it, baby. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Neil God, baby, who's going to lead this community out of the wilderness. I'm a leader. Can we get these goddamn people to the phone?
No.
Every day of my life, it's a goddamn song and dance, like a contest, an endurance contest to see if we can make it until 2 o'clock. No matter how many people are getting shot, no matter how many blowjob hurricanes are out there, no matter how much battle Bubba's laryngitis is, no matter how many troops are sending to East Timor because we got a bunch of crazy Muslims and Catholics killing each other over there. More of that good old-time religion. For the guy that called at 5 minutes to 11 this morning and wanted me to talk about the good things religion does, just take a look at Indonesia, man, where the Muslims and the Catholics are slaughtering each other. All because their God is better than, you know how it goes. 10 before 2 at 560 WQM. It's